Here we are, back again. Sunday night, just before the last game of round 3 in the NRL, and we've got a big guest. Big guest, local celebrity, man who's played in many a grand final. Don't know if he's won any, but real good bloke.
I'd say one of the best looking guys in the comp. Yeah?
Stallion.
Biceps
Sometimes gets mistaken for Roger Tiavashashek.
Again, like Guy Hamilton, I didn't want my missus down here for this one.
Yeah.
You're a good man
I'd
like
be
that,
sick
Christian.
right
Reece Ketu, welcome to the show, brother. We've been trying to get you on, but you've had other commitments, probably modelling, that have prevented that.
Gee up. No, it's great to be here.
Nice. Tell everyone a bit about yourself. Where'd you play with junior footy and stuff, mate?
Junior footy.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Reece. Keep talking, mate.
No, you're right. Grew up playing AFL and rugby league at the same time.
Yep.
So played all my juniors at Norse.
Norse.
The
Yep.
Devils. Mighty Devils. Then transitioned up, played AFL, played league, played a bit of union. Came to West last year.
Nice.
And
You played at
living
Sanford
up.
Stags for quite a few years.
I did, yes.
Nice.
Yep. Followed a couple of mates over there. Played in GF there. Lost that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hard to believe you've lost that, but stuck side. Finished minor premiers the next year and went out in straight sets. Another lot of good memories there, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
No worries. Coached by a former Manly first grader and Valley's first grader up here, Steve Hegarty. What was Steve like as a coach? Because I know he's a real good fullback.
Really good. Yeah, no, I rated Higgs. He was good. He was a good reason why I stuck around there, actually. He was a good bloke, good on the field and off the field. Really knowledgeable, really smart, footy smart.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good. I like playing with Higgs, actually.
And that's an important thing. We've discussed that a bit on the show. Coaches you can learn something from any coach, but good coaches are blokes that you learn a few things from. Like, every coach knows something, but it's whether you choose to absorb the information and things like that.
Roddy, you look like you robbed or stopped by a lifeline bin on the way here and just chucked every bit of clothing on.
Please.
Were
Yeah.
you at Evan Hills this morning?
No, I saw that, Steve. Yeah. Matt Lodge was there with me, as you noticed him the other day.
You guys are drinking rum cans.
Yeah, we were sharing out the old OP rums. Good man, the Lodginator.
Sorry, boys, I might just have to jump in. I'll quickly just breeze through the sides before the Manly versus Bulldogs game starts. Manly are heavy favourites here with Tom Trbojevic at fullback, Ruben Garrick, George Tafur on the wings, Brad Parker, Moses Surley in the centres, Dylan Walker and Cherry Evans as the halves, front row of Marty Tapau, Danny Levi and Aden Fanor-Blake, back row of Joel Thompson, Curtis Sirenen and Jake Trbojevic, and a bench of Lachlan Croker, Corey Wardell, Sean Kepi and Taniela Paseka. And the Bulldogs line up with a few changes. Aidan Tolman comes into the side in the front row with Jeremy Marshall-King and Dylan Napa. Dallin Martinez-Lesniak's the fullback. Nick Meaney, Christian Crichton on the wings. Remus Smith and Hopewadi in the centres. Lachlan Lewis, Jack Cogger in the halves. Josh Jackson, Dean Britt and Adam Elliott as the back row. Suaso Sue gets moved to the bench wearing number 8. Jake Avarillo in 14. Renoff Tuamungas in 15 and Raymond Fatala Mariner is in 16.
That's a good squad. Their halves have got a few question marks, but that's a big forward pack.
Yeah.
And they got some pace out wide.
I still don't think they definitely get slowly piecing together a decent sort of lineup, but I still don't see them putting any sort of flame to Manly. Manly's side just looks far superior to me, and I'm tipping them to go big.
Yeah. Well, mate, I'd like to agree, but look what happened with the Warriors yesterday and the Dragons. Dragons, and the Warriors never looked like losing, and they just kept turning up and turning up. With these new rules, as I've noticed, if you're loose around the ruck, all you're going to do is defend, and you're not going to have any gas to get out.
Exactly.
Last night, the Raiders dominating the Storm.
Yeah. All it takes is one repeat set too to turn a side completely around. You saw a couple of times, even in the last game, the Newcastle versus Panthers game. All it took was a one of those repeat set calls to completely change the change the running. So there was a few times where you thought Penrith were well on top and they were going to go along with it. And then a 6 again call on third tackle for Newcastle gives them 9 tackles instead of just having your normal set of 6. And then before you know it, they're attacking the line, and a decent kick on the end of that set means you possibly get a repeat or another chance at the line the next set. It's just a massive swing, that 6 again rule. And I personally think the referees are using it a bit loosely, like the 6 again rule. I think they feel as if it's not so much of a beneficiary to the.
Yeah, well, Sutton
the
on Friday
attackers.
night shit himself and
A-
then
a
threw
few,
out.
A few referees have done it, have just seen anything even minuscule in the ruck and just thought, oh, blow up 6 again.
Where Ash Klein on Friday night
Put
with
the
the
whistle
Roosters
away,
and
yeah.
South, he was a lot more old school. So
Yeah.
until they start having a few reviews during the week and that, and they work out what the medium is, who knows what's gonna dish up. Just one thing I noticed: the old Bulldogs don't have a sponsor on the front of their jersey. It's a bit strange for an NRL side not to have a sponsor.
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't really want to sponsor him at the moment either. Like coming after the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
In saying that, Righty,
In the back of their off season.
yeah, true.
There's a couple of blokes that did the session.
Going
at the
back to your
school.
point,
Yeah,
Righty,
there's probably people jumping off who are gonna
Maybe
sponsor.
like a lawyer firm could sponsor him or
No.
something, you know.
Yeah. What are you saying, Dano? Enlighten us, bruh.
um,
First carry
you've
coming
lost
out.
me. I was-
Anyway,
Is that
so
Tolman?
okay, so
Tolman
what
coming
we're
back?
at is we're at 39, 40 seconds. If we're watching on KO and you're getting a delay through the live feed of Facebook, just pause and play real quick and try to like just stream up.
Try
So
to
with
line it up.
39, 34, 33,
Tolman taking it out
32.
on 3, taken by Travojevic and Danny Levi. They hit back on this right side.
As Josh Jackson takes a hit up,
Yeah.
taken by Danny Levi
Very
and Adam Fanua
underrated.
Blake.
Josh Jackson.
He goes wide. Adam
Oh,
Elliott has
Adam
a hit
Elliott.
up through the middle of the ruck.
That's
taken
a good
by
back row.
Tapau and Thompson.
Big Marty. What a monster.
They'll want him to be playing big minutes
Yeah.
Are him and Fanua the best forward
as a tandem.
Forward
best
pairing?
prop tandem in the comp or what?
Potentially they could be.
Apparently, there's a bit of trouble with our audio. It isn't great.
Yeah, can't really hear it.
Seriously.
Is that on the?
Like
Is
it-
that
No.
on the?
That's
phone?
on the feed, the live feed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Did you crank my phone up to full?
I don't know because it's the mic,
Don't know.
isn't it?
Yeah. Try
Yeah,
cranking
that's
it
all
up.
right. You keep watching.
You're right.
I just try cranking up the volume. Might be down low. Yeah, play a big shift there to Ciro.
We got a text already on our live feed. It's Jackie Walsh. He says, "Tell Keto to take his shirt off."
He's
Oh,
a big
I love
fan.
it, Jack.
Jackie, we'll work on it for you, Baz. We'll work on it.
That's Jack Walsh, if my missus is listening.
Yeah. Yeah. So by the end of the night, if we got Keto with his shirt off, then
Why? Because Jackie sounds like a girl's
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Blokes' misses are always more understanding if it's blokes want you to take your shirt
Yeah.
off than
There's
female supporters of the
nothing
club.
wrong with a bit of blokes on blokes, that's for sure. There's a scoot from Nick Meaney. Bulldogs having trouble getting out of their own end already. That's not
That's
a bad
good
scoot
suit.
there by
Marshall King.
Marshall King. He's taken
He's
a great
got some
tackle by
skill.
Jake Travojevic.
He's made about 5 already, Jake, in the first 2 sets. Napa. I'd really like to see him play some real good footy this year. Napa. And come into the Queensland side in good form.
You just can't see it, but can you? Like he's got the potential. We all know it, but
Yeah, when he brings it, it's like 8.5 out of 10 game.
yeah.
And the trouble is, you've got to be bringing that regularly. Like comments Nathan Brown made about Corey Norman.
Yeah.
About, do you want to has the talent, but do you want to be a player that helps coaches, helps his teammates, helps you win finals games? He's only ever played in 2 finals games in his whole career, and he's on big
Yeah.
money, and more is expected of you because they want you to deliver. He's played Origin now too.
Ask if that audio's
He just
If
seems to
anyone's
cruise.
anyone who's watching there, can you?
Yeah, I'm on it at the moment.
Oh, Dano, you're the best. Oh, ball Ciro.
Here we
Quick
go.
shift here to Moses Sully. He's got him backpedaling.
Oh, go Sully.
Oh,
I got 5 on
oh,
him.
Sully. Go.
Go Travojevic. Yes,
Yes.
he's my
That's it.
captain and
Yes.
super coach, baby.
And who was inside him? They always talk about getting bodies in the picture, and his brother's on the inside pushing up. Who was that? Sully.
Yeah, of
Jeez,
course it's his brother.
Meanie wasn't real keen on tackling him. He had he had what I used to call fear of the brown man. Guys that pull out when you play big, strong, tough guys. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean this day? I've got a wedding on this day. Oh wow.
I had 5 on him to score the first try, Sully, and he's passed it.
Yeah.
Right, man. Arthur Vernon just said, "Hey, mate, you're on. Don't forget to say hi."
Arthur, you're a great man. Keen on the catch up soon. Got the message. I'll be in touch. And now that they're easing the restrictions on pubs and cafes and that, we'll catch up for a feed or a beer very, very soon.
How's the audio?
Any feedback on the audio?
Your missus just texted me, right, man. And
that's no surprise. A lot of women text you, Dano. A lot of women text you. Next thing, I'll be seeing other photos down the Rana Leagues Club.
That's a classic stitch up, right, man. As soon as Charlie, for those that don't know, I went down to the Rana Leagues Club Wednesday night for a bit of a bite with this lovely young lady that I've been seeing.
See, it's out. Jack Walsh will love that.
Jane just came back and said it's still really quiet.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was down at Arana having dinner with a lovely young lady, a friend of mine, and Charlie Mosdale, who's a friend of the show. He takes a photo and asks us to take a photo for the he said it's for the Arana Leagues Club's webpage. So we said, of course you can take a photo, mate. And then I thought he stitched me up and sent it to Righty straight away, but turns out he's actually genuinely put it on the Arana page, and Right Man's just swiped in and taken it off the internet, and turned it into a 3D shot, and then posted it on the Any Given Mondays page. And subsequently, I've got 1,000 messages in my inbox.
From women or
from people we may not name.
I thought it'd have that effect on the people.
Yeah.
Watch that with Travojevic just scoring back to footy for a sec. Manly hit 2 edges. They hit down the left side through Thompson. Got a quick play the ball. Shift back to Sirinen. Sirinen got an offload. Cherry Evans promoted on a Moses Sully. He put a see you later move on Meany. And I don't know where Remus Smith was. He just got caught out of position. Yeah. Made the break. Found Turbo on the inside. And there was 4 points. And Ruben Garrick missed the conversion. Yeah, nice exit here. Crucial to be completing sets like after points, especially with the way it goes. Like, loose carry.
It's like it's got some sort of interference. It's still really quiet.
Interesting. There's not much more we can do. Bulldogs on the attack. Adam Elliott tips on to Dylan Napa on the 0 tackle.
It's taken by Sirinen and Travojevic. Adam Elliott skips back on the inside. He's taken by Sirinen again with Adam Fanua-Blake and Danny Levi. Ball comes from Marshall King out to the left.
They got numbers here.
Cut out ball.
Oh, that was yuck. What? Okay.
Cut out ball from
what would
over the top of the
West Craig Ingebrigtsen say if a half threw a ball over sideline like that? Reece?
Oh, you'd cop a spray.
Yeah.
You'd need windshield wipers, I tell you.
Especially when you had enough bodies there.
Shout out to Triggs. I know you're listening, mate. He sent me a
whoa there. Whoa. Holy shit. Oh,
it's got a bit of a...
Freddie knows how to conduct a party. I'll give you that. So what was it? You just went to West for an opportunity, Reece? Wanted to play some high-level footy?
Yeah, it was a little bit. I had Seb, shout out to Seb. Seb Bass in a party.
Yep.
He was on my case, so we were sort of doing some training in the off season together, and he just kept pestering me until I gave in. Came down to start the preseason. I had all intentions to potentially go back to Sanford.
Yep.
And then loved it. Couldn't leave.
Nice. Got to come to Mitchie for a couple of games. Then you got the opportunity and coach award or players player first game.
Yeah.
Lost to Bean Lee.
Yeah.
Stayed in the side. 2 GFs later. Oh.
Yeah, well, I wish you had dropped a few balls your first game, so we could have got you back in Mitchie, bud. Tell you what.
Yeah,
we did. I think what did we get it? 1 game out of you or 2 games out of you at Mitchie?
And then went on. End up last game was the
bigger
GF.
and better things, you know. How was it playing at West with blokes you may not have been quite acquaintances with before, but then you you obviously get to know the boys in your side, and you get to form combinations of bonds and mateships, and then
Yeah, massively.
obviously blokes come and go. But what was it like the West Club as a culture, and as a group compared to other places you've been? Does it stand out for you?
Nah, awesome. Like heaps of natural talent, heaps of talented football players, which was good, but a bunch of good blokes too. Like
Yeah.
there's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
no
There's
awesome
one bloke
blokes.
that comes to mind too. He's a mate of mine, obviously, but Chris Doyle. He obviously played
What a legend.
played in your side,
Yep.
and he's a bloke I played a lot of footy with too. And he's a bloke I see as like someone. If you're new to a club, he's always the first bloke to come up, shake your hand, say g'day, and he's
100%.
loves to get in the piss, loves to be around the boys. He's a great club man, and then he's also a great football player, which makes it a whole lot easier as well. So. That's the first thing I think about when someone's coming to a new club is a bloke like Chizzer is a perfect bloke to welcome you into the club. And then he's also a bloke, like, as we all know, he left last year, went back home to Blackwall, and he's a bloke you miss, like,
Yeah,
in
big
a year
miss,
after
yeah.
he's gone. So not even just his ability on the football field, where he's a very handy footballer, but also just having him off the field, having him at training and around the boys.
Mate, legend. Absolute legend. One of those blokes that you just, if you could have 10 of them, you'd take them in a heartbeat.
Who's
Just
that?
those players. Chizzer.
The Chisel.
Just dead set. His defence, his just work ethic, just everything. Just an
Yeah.
absolute machine.
Yeah.
So, no, I love you, Chiz. It was a big loss missing him for this season, but top bloke.
Dylan Walker just puts a ball over the dead ball line, gives the Bulldogs a 7-tackle set 10 minutes into the first half.
Yeah, things were mounting promisingly then. Unfortunately, you've got to be able to know that. That's the thing when you're a makeshift half, when you're forced to kick.
Yeah.
It's all right kicking when you're on the front foot, but it's blokes who can manufacture 40-20s and that. Like last night, Josh Hodgson kicks close to the best 40-20 I've ever seen.
He was incredible.
From
He
dummy
kicked the
half.
ball. He would have gone 60
unreal.
metres on the fly, one bouncing over the sideline.
Vice versa.
Unbelievable.
Big Nelson,
Yeah.
Oh,
grubber.
Imagine
how much that? Can you picture the video
pay money
review?
to be a fly on the wall when Bellyache gets a hold of him. Fuck
That's
me
the first
dead.
thing I said, eh?
Imagine being a fly on the wall in the change room after that game. He would have got his head ripped off.
It was Josh Spear-esque.
You know,
Yeah,
what?
Big fella.
That's how
Shout out
frustrated.
Josh
That's
Spear,
how
I know you're
frustrated.
listening.
That's how frustrated they were last night.
Apparently a bloody
Oh,
a
shot.
utility Josh Spear. I haven't seen much of a kicking game out of you, bud.
Nah, he played fly half in year 12, so he's a ball running
Yeah,
half.
that was 14 years ago, apparently. I don't know how old Spears he is, but he looks about 100, so we'll go with it.
Dano, put that on, see if you can hear the fuzz noise.
Manly get the ball back after defending that set. Moses Sealy starting things off on the first. Levi gives the ball to Adam Fanua-Blake coming out. Fanua-Blake saddles one up the middle.
Oh, Elliott's out.
They shift it to Sirenen on this right side. Sirenen finds his front and they're playing quick. Looking for Turbo. Inside to Cherry Evans. They're on the front foot here. They're starting
Taken well by
chipping
Lachlan
away.
Lewis, but around the legs. Turbo at hooker, Dylan Walker passes it on to Jake Travojevic, who settles one up the guts.
They've hit back to the middle here where they're working for on
He's
this.
held up. There might be a repeat set. No, last tackle.
That had to have been close.
Dylan
Oh,
Walker
is this
puts
kick
another
better than the
kick
last
in.
one?
It's
Oh,
not
yeah, my
bad.
word it is.
Oh, my God.
The ball potentially has ricocheted off a Bulldog into a Manly player.
What's he ruling knock on from George Tafua?
With a charger in, will that work? No. Not even with a charger in.
Charger won't work in this.
Oh.
I got to put it on one of them plate chargers to charge it. It's fuck.
Yeah, I'll try to stop it and start it again, because that fuzz is weird as, eh?
It's like a snake.
You're going to have to click post on that.
Post,
Bottom
hit
right corner.
post, bottom right. Yeah, bluey. Blue.
Share?
Yeah, share it if you want.
Or is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go again.
No, it's live. It should say live.
Live. There's a scroll down a little. No, up. You should be Facebook Live up above in one of those along there, eh, Dano?
No, does it
No.
say live? It should say live there somewhere.
Chime in,
Or
Dano.
post. Post. No.
Chime in, Dano. No.
Fucking iPhones, I tell you what. Everyone gets Samsungs.
Have you got Samsung?
Yeah.
Who did you buy it off? Alexander Graham Bell? The guy who invented the telephone.
That's one of Roddy's best.
Yeah.
Oh, Dano steps in, the old phone tech guy.
Hey,
We on?
mate, he knows cameras and tripods.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that live now? Start live.
Yeah, hit that start live button.
Do you reckon maybe
And we're back.
this might go now?
Rotate your phone. Says something about rotate your phone.
Huh?
Are we good? We look good? Yeah, that looks sweet.
Yeah, I know, but it's the fuzz that's...
Can we wonder if we can still hear it? Try and chime in, Freeds.
Or get because it's your phone. I was going to say get your missus, but it's...
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, get Reece to chime in.
Oh, it's doing that, yeah.
Don't know what the goes with
Are
the
you
fuzz.
watching it?
Yeah, that's like when I was at home, I was like,
Is it still fuzzy?
no, it's all good.
Oh, good. At least the volume's all right.
Oh, so
Well-
you can hear us and shit.
Yeah, yeah, he's looking live. Seeing the same picture, seeing there. Manly working it out over the 30. Tackled on four. Adam Fanua Blake tackled on fourth tackle. They go to Travojevic on the edge, runs a block shape with Cherry. Tips it on to Sully, but the big Samoan centre can't handle it. Getting a bit too expansive there coming out. Sometimes you just got to tuck it in, get to your points, and kick Tar out of the ball. Shifting it's where they're finding their space, but it can be a little bit misleading at times if you overcook in the pot. See if they can defend this setup. So what's been your favourite moment of your senior league career, Reece?
Oh, mate, there's been a few.
Playing in
Hard to
I know
pick one.
playing in grand finals, even when you
Yeah,
lose,
yeah.
but it's such an adrenaline rush and a buzz. And then it's only going on two ways, isn't it? There's not going to be a draw. You're either going to be
Yeah.
that excited and
Yeah,
on
it's
cloud
not-
nine for
yeah,
ages.
100%.
And then if you lose, especially when you boys had a mad side back there in, was it 2016, had that mad side. I thought because that was the first year I coached, and I ended up playing a few games, and I remember playing against you, and I thought, surely these blokes, they'll win this. They look streets ahead of it. Like some of the strike power you had.
Yep.
Were you in the centres with Crichton?
Mate, I actually, when I turned up to the Stags, the first thing Coach said, he goes, you know, what position you play? I said, mate, I'll play in the centres, I'll play in the middle, just put me wherever. I really don't care, eh? So just anywhere but the halves, because I can't pass.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, sweet. Thursday night rolls around, comes out, right, Reece Ketu, left half. I'm like, this is like, hear what I said? Like, it's Steve Hegarty, you know,
Yeah.
he's played around. I'm like,
Yeah.
surely you've seen
Yeah,
I
and he was
can't pass.
coaching. He was
Don't play
coaching.
him in the half.
He's coached Colts level in that too, so it's not like he hasn't
Yeah,
coached
yeah.
seniors. And
So
that.
he's seen me in a couple of sessions, and he goes, "Okay, this bloke can't catch, he can't pass. We'll put him in the left half." So ran the Friday night before the Saturday game. I'm watching the footy, and big Kenny Edwards is playing for Para in the half.
Yeah,
I was like, "You beauty." Watched him closely. He didn't pass it once; he just ran it.
Yeah.
So I ran out on the Saturday night at the Stags first game, and I didn't pass it once.
yeah,
I
fair,
didn't pass for the rest of the season.
fair enough. And you were playing 5'8" in the grand
In the
final,
GF, yeah.
so you just wanted another big body in the line, like a third centre.
Yeah, I think so. Just a runner. I had
Yeah.
a couple of bigger guys, big Fijian bloke on my edge and big centre who's now playing like in the middle. So we just had a big running left-hand side.
He's had a lot
Flinny-
of-
Flinny.
Yeah, Flinny
He
did a
played
lot.
right half.
Yeah,
He was an absolute gun. And then I had Lockie Crichton and Jack Crichton as well on the edge out there. So
yeah. I remember you absolutely flogged us when which Crichton brother, the 5'8", the one who was at the Titans. He
Yeah.
before he'd gone overseas.
yeah.
He was dominating, of course, and then like like during the season, the gap between teams, it's going one or two ways. It's either gonna close or it's gonna widen. Some strike, like when sides know how to peak at the right times, like,
Yeah,
and they're just
yeah.
getting better and better.
Yeah.
Then other times, like with you boys, you were going good. It's just unfortunately weren't up on on the one day it counts.
It was
Yeah,
just the day. That was it. The
And-
rest of the year we were good.
I remember I played against St Joey,
Oh,
and
so-
they were all right.
Righty, this should be good now. Shut
Thanks,
your mouth and
brother.
look at that
You're
for a
good.
sec.
That's good. I'm glad you contributed to the show there, mate.
Yeah. That's sick now.
Excellent. Well done, brother. Well done.
So everyone who's watching on our Facebook Live, we really apologise for technical difficulties.
That's all
but
right.
our guru tech expert,
I've never been
Christian
a tech
Free,
guy. I'm just kind of learning as we go. But
the
anyway,
mo-
I wanted to say the reason we're trying to do this fucking footy sidekick is because the last time Reece was actually watching a footy game and he was expecting us to talk while watching it, and he messaged me and I was like, well, fuck it, that's a great idea. And so I thought we'd get him on to do the real first one that we've kind of done.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Love the plan.
Yeah. And
You're an
also-
ideas man.
Yeah. And I just like hanging around good-looking people.
As
so-
Manly attacked the line, Travojevic hits
Parker.
to Brad Parker on the
They
left
set up.
edge. Parker's been taken in a great tackle by
What,
Christian
about
Crichton.
5 out. Here they go.
Travojevic with a long ball out to Dylan Walker. Connects with Danny Levi. Levi hits again to
Cherry.
Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans goes short to Curtis Sheridan, who's taken in a good.
That's a
leg
good tackle, boy.
Lachlan Lewis.
Lockie Lewis is a pretty good load defender.
Comes back right.
Shit
Cherry
haircut.
Evans dummies and heads back towards the middle. Puts in a grubber kick,
Oh.
which is taken safely by.
Who is that? Oh, the
Cogger.
fullback. Who?
Jack
Oh, the
Cogger.
half.
Cogger's
Cogger.
been
Yeah.
taken by
Yeah, because Foreign still.
Travojevic.
That Hopper takes one out.
Hobart has been taken in a good tackle here, and another scoot here by Dylan Martinez Lesniak.
So I-
to Powell and
I played with a guy called Mark Page at the Sunny Coast, Pagey, and he went down to Manly as well. And he said the way that him and Cherry Evans had their mad rigs, because they're stacked 6-packs all the time. And he says, yeah, we just don't eat carbs after 7 o'clock at night. So
Yeah,
after
I've heard
7,
blokes say
it's
that.
just nothing.
That's the secret.
And that's how, and how blokes tell me they lose big piles of weight.
Yeah.
They just rush eating after. I've had people tell me, I go, don't you get fucking hungry? So, you're starving.
No, I did the same thing till about 12 o'clock in the day.
Yeah.
Joshy Spears, mate, I'm going to do it. Righto, just do this. Don't eat till 12.
Fast.
Just try and fast till 12. It's he starts work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Calls me on the phone 8:30. Bro, I can't breathe. I can't see, bro. I can't see. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I gotta eat, bro. He was half an hour into his work day, but he got used to it.
Yeah.
He's going good.
we got another message on the live chat. It's from a one David Wheel. He says Reece Ketu, second greatest guest ever. I'm assuming that's right behind his young fella Ethan Wheel, but
I agree with that.
I
Wingers,
think,
wingers all.
second best is pretty good considering we've had a few big guests now.
Yeah.
Reece, and you're almost at the top of the mountain. So.
I did field a call from someone last night saying, show was going so good, why did you bring it down by bringing Paisley back on? I said, that wasn't my decision. That bloke, he's like that song Gangnam Style. He was amusing for about fucking half an hour, and then
he
it's
gets
gone.
bored.
Yeah, it's
Well,
gone.
he
We've all forgotten about the bloke now.
Faze had promised me that he'd be going to speech pathology, and he got rid of that list.
Speech
So I didn't.
pathology. Holy
But
shit.
also, I reckon he could talk underwater with a
My
mouthful
missus
of
said so.
marbles.
But
It's
yeah,
ridiculous,
holy
eh?
shit! The
He
bloke,
does.
the bloke comes on. It's like we've just got a spokesman for the fucking Ku Klux Klan on there, just to fend half the fucking communities and races that we know. That's all we need is a lawsuit. Just quietly.
For our Facebook audience, our TV,
Hey, Google.
our TV on
Go away, please.
on Christian's phone has picked up our speaking and has googled a spokesman for fucking Cooper.
I don't want to know what sites you look up on this,
Can
Christian.
we get out of this before we see your search history?
Yeah.
Already?
A man needs to have some privacy, even though you do like to share that information with the listeners and the guests. That's good. Well done, big guy. I know. We're
How
going
good are
back.
these Brick Lane beers going down, boys? Freddie, are you on the Brick Lanes?
And we're back.
Yeah.
One, I think.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Throw us one
Brick
over.
Lane again. They
Lane, look after us.
they jumped in early
Oh, thank you,
because
sir.
we hit them up for more cartons. Then
Agreed.
we've been going through them too quickly. But Steele, I went and met Steele this morning down at West Mitchie, and he grabbed us a couple of cartons, and he was asking me. He goes, "You boys must be loving them because you're fucking going through them." But
We really appreciate it too, Brick Lane. It's not bad piss, hey.
Yeah, I reckon. It's
Considering
good
we
job.
drink like fish, I'm thinking it's probably fitting we have a
That's really good.
a booze
Oh.
sponsor. Nick Meaney's just come down without the ball and
He holds
almost
that, yeah.
dropped his lollies
It's
just
So,
short of the line.
so again on the live feed, we're 18 minutes, 9, 8, 7, 6.
It's a good high kick, good contest between
got the
Ruben
jump,
Garrick
yeah.
and Nick Meaney, but Nick Meaney's just spilt his lollies about 4 metres short of the line. Now Manly work it off their own line through Garrick, who's been taken in a good tackle by Aidan Tolman. Muddy Tapau's come off for a breather after 23
Big-
minutes.
I imagine big Taniela Placica coming on.
Reece, could you rattle off names like these guys are doing just now?
No.
No,
This game, not
Sean,
this game.
Sean Kepi,
Sean Kepi.
young Kepi. He's a Parramatta junior.
Because for
Come to club
sure,
last
I
year.
never watched Canterbury and Manly play.
The Manly the Manly side, I know most of those players, but there's a lot of Bulldogs players. I've never even
like
heard.
fringe
I think-
fringe NRL
Yeah,
blokes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Bulldog stuff on Pornhub, but other than
Yeah.
that, it's
I think it's on Stay at Home Hub, Freddie. That's the one you look at, isn't it?
no, that's finished now, bro. I
Oh,
told
is
you
it?
about that.
It's
Yeah,
spewing.
the last free trial they tried to ask me to get my credit card details again. I was like, no way,
Make up a
because
fake name.
I'll forget about it.
But aren't you trying to conceive another child anyway? So you don't even need to worry about
Bro,
that.
yeah,
you
I've
just need
been
to start throwing
busting.
it
I've
up.
been busting, bro. It's killing me. I can't. You think, yeah, like I said last time, you think, oh yeah, I could do it every day if the missus let me. Nah,
Is it true?
No.
Is it true to spice it up? You have a photo of Mark Offerdale in your room.
It's just on the roof.
No,
so when he's on
yeah.
his back, he just sees off
The
his
big,
face.
the big sore,
no.
the Gundam.
You're doing it wrong. You
the-
need a picture of Reece Ketu's biceps on your wall. That'd get me going for sure.
So, while we've got a second here, tell us about the bicep curl challenge, the curl, the
Which-
20.
Oh, yeah.
Which also we
Because
might-
that's unbelievable. Like it's almost
It's
unbelievable.
pretty unreal, eh? So
Yeah.
we didn't know about it. We just came to the gym, and one group of boys went through and did it all. And then the second session that went in,
Oh, shot.
we didn't even
Good
know.
shot,
So we
Sean
get in
Kepi.
there,
Shot.
and there were
Zero.
sort of numbers up on the board, and Ange has come up and said, "Look, this is the top dog. Top dog's like 130 or something.
Yeah.
Like bites 20 kilos. You're allowed 3 pauses." And she just says, "That's enough. Go!" And you got to keep going.
Who
A lot
was
of
the
blokes
top
sort-
dog?
So here's the thing, right? We've all gone through, and then I think I was third last, and then Seb was second last, and he pumped out like, so if the best was 130 or 140, he pumped out like 200.
Really?
We were like, holy.
Jesus.
And then he's jumped off. Joshy Spear went dead last, so no one else is in the gym. There's like 4 of us in there, and he's got in there, and we've G'd him up, and he smashed out without one break like 240.
And
And then
full
he
extension,
went to put it
full up.
down, and Ange goes, "No, you can keep going. You've still got 2 more breaks." He just keeps going full extension. He got like close to 300. It's like 290 something.
Did he start
That's
off real
amazing.
quick, or was it a pace?
Just
like,
normal? It was just average
Yeah.
pace. Just
Jesus. All right,
Because
Reece,
you know, like when you're doing a push-up challenge, sometimes I find it's better just to hold a pace or just
Yeah.
go nuts.
or just go
yeah.
mental. Yeah.
Well, I
See,
think-
that's how I do more running, like 800s. Just bust out in
Yeah.
that first bit, die in the ass, and come
Yeah.
like third last.
It's
Up
like
back
it's
in.
yeah, no, like when I
just give it everything at
Yeah.
the start.
like when I power fuck, it's usually like if I go hard out sometimes, but otherwise if I keep a rhythm, I can last longer.
Yeah, but then again, keeping a rhythm gets boring as well. You need to have short spurts.
Yeah.
Like,
And do you have sex with your new girl? Or
you ever
what?
seen rabbits fuck?
What style of sex?
You should watch them because that's how I do it. You just get in and just dick like a pin, fuck like a sewing machine.
Oh,
Tommy
nice.
Trbojevic has been
Off his
put through an
brother.
absolute
He's a freak.
hole.
You know, the one thing I've said about Tommy the whole time is he's probably him and maybe 1 or 2 others could go to AFL in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
He used
Play
to
top
play
level
it a
AFL.
little bit.
Do they have a
on the
background of
side.
it as well?
He did
Why-
as a kid. You know how like different
Does he?
days.
Yeah, right.
He did, and the Swans were trying to put him in the academy, and then the AFL people got onto it and were going, "Oh, he could have been a Swan. He could have been a Swan, but Manly swooped in." He said, "No, I was playing it as just on the side."
On the side,
yeah,
yeah.
and that was the way it went. He goes, he never really seriously considered not playing SG ball at Manly or anything like that.
Right.
But they thought this guy,
Yeah, 'cause
as you
his
said,
brothers
could
were
be
all
anything.
mental, like, they were all they were mad league fans, right?
Yeah,
The whole
and his
family.
dad played local league
Yeah.
at Manly, like Mona Vale Raiders juniors, and so that was the thing. There was no way he not going to do it. I think
Well, look, the mechanic chimes in and says, "Love the chat, boys."
that's
Cheers,
spirit.
mechanic.
The Machinic. Jackie Welsh says, "Can we zoom up on Reece Ketu's face, please? Sick of looking at Dane Adams."
Next one is like, can Reece just sit there with his cock out, please?
Yeah.
Oh, there wouldn't be much.
What-
Let me tell you.
So Reece, I'm gonna, as one of our guests, I'm extending the formal invitation to you. Now that they're extending the amount of people you can have in a licensed premises. I feel this is an opportunity for
You're
us
about
to grab
roast
this.
the FGT, aren't you?
Not yet, but later. The West Mitchelton Panthers Rugby League Club, we would like to do a show there. And we will invite people in as the restrictions are eased even more. And we want to invite you to come down to that night, drink a few Brick Lanes with us, our fantastic sponsor.
Yeah.
And we'll do it at the West Mitchie Footy Club on probably a Sunday night.
Sunday night. You reckon?
Sunday night we could. Monday night, Sunday night we can do.
Saturday
We could even
night.
do Saturday night.
Yeah, I was
let's
going to
do
say.
it.
We all just take pingers and fucking crank some music.
As long as you're not taking.
I'm starting to see a.
So if you start Saturday, you got a second session Sunday Arvo.
Oh.
What do you reckon?
Joshy Spears is like, let's just start at Wednesday night and finish up on the Monday.
Beto, you need to calm down with that. Some of us got to go home eventually. Fuck, I've had too many times starting on the Thursday, finishing on the next Thursday. Oh, Ruben
Garrick,
off with
he
the
shanked
two.
it again, 8-0 to
None
the
from
Seagulls. Let's see if they can complete on this set. This drives me nuts.
So what are
as
we
a
at?
coach.
8-0 at 13:08.
Yeah, so and they've stopped the clock.
What about the chops? What about everyone having the blonde?
Oh my
Yeah.
god! How
Are
many
we
chops
are we
have
are we
got?
for it or against it?
I love it. I
Do
love
you?
it. I fucking love it.
Did you
eh?
I'm
see
actually on
Billy?
Billy's team for
Did you
this
see
one.
Billy Kickow with it?
Oh.
That
That
enormous
was a
beef.
grade
Abby
5.
Coruscant and blokes
That
like that. But the thing is, with the chops, you've got all the people doing the peroxide blonde, and then you got plenty of blokes doing the short back and top with the old skullet out, and then there's plenty of blokes with the mohawk shaved in. There's just
And also, you can tell who's going to like some sort of hairdresser to get it
Yeah,
done,
yeah,
or some that
yeah.
are just bleaching it, letting it grow out.
that's like you got Jai Arrow, who's an origin forward turned mullet model, who just is hot at the moment, repping that fucking healthy mullet. And there's also blokes again like Kickow.
Kickouts
And,
ruthless, eh?
Kickows is just full short sides, top and back are both just pure bleach blonde. It's disgusting.
Nice. Cherry Evans kicks early for a 40-20. He's not
It's a
going to
great
quite get
shoot
this,
at
is
the
he?
edge.
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Oh,
So Lesniak's made a meal
Oh.
of it. Tafu is
oh, he just stepped out. Yeah.
the touchdown just put
Oi,
his flag up.
so he touches that right.
Yep.
That went over the 20, came back, and he still reefed at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You leave it there.
You'd
surely.
leave it there,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
just a
and
poor decision
these
from
are things
Lesniak.
like when you
Oh, I touched the line first.
when you become playing on the swing full time, things like that, like at West, do they work with you on that? Like with the reserve grade coach Zach Warwick and that, do they speak to you and Willow and whoever the fullback can be at various times about being awake a situation? Just your situational awareness, reading those type of situations, like with that.
Yeah.
And positionally.
They've
Yeah.
Situation.
they would have watched a lot of video, and they know that Cherry Evans, they set up on that right side shift, and he's going to go for that. So that's something something you need to be aware of. Like, I don't think there's any excuse for not being able to defend 40-20s when teams are coming out of their own end, because you got plenty of space to defend, especially if they're not coming down your side.
When you're playing with guys like VK, Joey Bond,
All those
Gav
who
Corsar,
have played high levels,
high
Caleb Cup.
level players, they tell you where to be. Kane Zalewski,
Yep.
he tells you where to be, and if you're not, you know about it pretty quick.
Yeah, fair enough too. Freddie's a bit like that. You're a bit of a communicator in our team, aren't you?
Well, that's all I got now. Let's
Yeah,
fucking talk.
It's good, man.
But yeah, Reece, we've had a lot of fucking well, it seems like when we talk to Eth, who else? A couple of other players we've had on here. It's like when you get put out and you have to play wing. Defensively, when I had to do it, I was like, this is the hardest position in the fucking world to play. Center or
different.
wing.
Yeah, I think center's harder because you got
you're the decision maker.
Plenty of runners coming at you.
Yeah.
But wing it's unique.
Yeah,
And if you haven't been a specialist there, I think
Oh.
it does take.
yeah,
Anyone can be a winger. Let's be honest.
yeah.
But then there's those niches and those minutes in the game where you've got to execute something.
Yeah.
Or everyone's looking at you. The
I
whole
think
team,
that's
the whole
right
position.
too. I think that's right to a certain extent. That's what I thought when I was younger. Anyone can be a winger, anyone can get here. But then, the higher and higher you get, the more of a specialist position it is. Like you look at, obviously the NRL's the pinnacle, but you look at players in the NRL who play on the wing, and if you try and make a makeshift winger, they'll just get absolutely screamed on.
The way they target you,
Exactly.
if you're hesitant
Exactly.
at all,
But as it moves down the grades, it obviously becomes less and less of
I think it's the opposition halves.
Exactly
If they're
right.
really good, they'll pick you up.
Well,
Yeah.
And they'll find you. If you can't catch high ball, they'll put a high
If
ball.
you've got a makeshift winger who's 5'10" and skinny as fuck, you got a big winger who's a winger by trade who comes in. He can jump 5 feet above the air, catch the ball with one hand behind his head with his eyes closed, and then also come out and run fucking 200 run meters a game. Someone like a Ken Mamalo sort of character. There's no way you're going to stop that as a makeshift winger. But then again, you move back down the grades again, as we were saying, and you can have someone fill in at wing and not be found out that much.
Yeah, for sure.
But
you look at it too, like
Bulldogs just pulled off a
NRL.
one-on-one break.
Yeah, Dean Britt on Taniela Placica.
See, I would have been like, number 12 just pulled off a one-on-one break.
Why you can't, once, if you're a good fullback and they need in a reserve grade, they need a winger, they'd just throw you out there. Now they're not as keen to do that for the fact that you can get isolated. If you're a short fullback, you get thrown on the wing, you will get targeted, especially if you're marking up on someone who can jump. You're not going to be able to defend that. And with the new rules, like the attacking team's got the right of way all the time.
Exactly. Especially with the amount of quality that's in the wing position at the moment. Like if you bring a winger into your side that's not a specialist winger or even a reserve grade winger, and say you play, just for a rough example, you play Parramatta, you either got to put him on Fergo or Sevo, or you play Manly and you got to put him on George Tafua who'll kill anyone, or Ruben Garrick who was second leading point scorer last year.
Speaking of that, so Arthur's got injured on Thursday night.
No, he
Why
just
are
got
the Broncos
hooked.
carrying Farnworth on the bench?
That's a great question.
Like it's worked the last
That-
2 games because they're
And that's why he said just as insurance.
They need a Corey Pakes on the bench. They need someone who's even if it's not Corey Pakes, they need someone on the bench who's going to add impact and going to add something around the middle. As we saw in the Dragons game yesterday, Cam McInnes made 74 tackles, which is unbelievable. But he also had 3 penalties conceded. He made a shocking decision in defense to let Cody Nicarima make a line break, and it's just like you need someone on the bench, especially in this faster game, that can come on after 30 minutes and cut up tired forwards in the middle.
And you can't throw a back in there. It might look
Exactly.
all right at training or even in park footy. All right, just just play hooker for the last 5 minutes for me and go to dummy half. You're chasing the ball around, like burning your energy. All of a sudden, they spot you up. They did in the early 2000s. Preston Campbell was Daly M winning half. So then Chris Anderson went to the Sharks. They brought Matt Johns. They throw Preston Campbell to hooker, and then he ends up, like after about 2 months, they dropped him to reserve grade. He left, went to Penrith the next year, they win the comp.
Yeah.
Because
And
his body was getting battered because they just
unbelievable.
spot you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a small hooker, because they'll be generating quick play the balls and things like that on you.
Yeah, you know what shits me like.
Tell us, bud. I love to hear
So
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but look,
I
I
love hearing
talk
this
I
shit,
talk
it's
about NRL players as a couch quarterback, right? They're all awesome, and like the level that they play is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bag them out though because
Good
I'm
on
a
you,
cat.
man.
Yeah,
I like good, honest chat.
yeah,
Because
so,
you're wearing granddad's
yeah,
slippers. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah, fucking big W. But Arthur, for fuck's sake, stay out on your winger. Can't you've got Stags on the inside?
Okay, if
That
when
was
you watch
the-
the video and you go, you were actually not even a whole body length away from making the tackle.
Yeah.
That makes it worse.
Yeah.
If you rushed in and took nobody, you go, yeah, I've fucked this.
To be also fair, Sevo, that put down was still pretty special.
That was unbelievable.
It takes a special sort of
Oh
winger.
yeah.
And the size of his hand eclipsed the ball in such a way where he
You know
can
where
just
in your
hold it.
head
And
you
just,
think you can do that?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's maybe a moment in a year where you get a bit of video and you that's you, but you're out like 3 meters before the line.
Yeah, and you drop the ball 4 feet off the ground. You're like, oh, well, apparently I'm not Sevo. You know?
He's unbelievable, Sivo. How he got that down.
Yeah.
It's a great finish. Like, obviously, Arthur's probably made a poor decision, but still, at the end of the day, Sevo did miraculously to get the ball down. And
Look at those two, Sivo, and you got Ferguson on the other side. Like, there's, different
the
stages of
Parramatta
their
side's
career.
unbelievable.
Like, but they start those sets when they're just coming out, like just running like mad dogs. Like at any level, your outside backs have got to be good set starters. Doesn't matter. I remember someone arguing with me once, going, "Yeah, but the backs will get smashed.
No.
Let them run from dummy half. What? So you don't get tackled hard running from dummy half?
The back five are so important, especially in today's NRL. And you look at a side like Parramatta, He's got a back five of Gutho, who was man of the match the other night. Played it unbelievable. Who's in the New South Wales?
Let's talk
Origin
about
system.
Gutho.
And you
Great
got two
work,
wingers.
Trent Barrett. Letting him go. Manly Junior
Don't be
Kangaroo,
sad, Righty.
still
It's
lives
all
at Manly. But no, the old fucking thanks,
Still
Barrett.
lives
Yeah.
there too. That's
Fuck me.
brutal, eh?
Yeah, it's
Driving
fun.
past.
Yeah, gives the honk as you're driving past. Yeah. I had a mate who he was from Warwick originally, then went and played at Ferny Grove Bears with us. Then he was living up the road here, and he was driving back to Warwick to play reserve grade or C grade just because he didn't know none of the boys that were still there and couldn't be fucked. You know, like
Right,
I might as well go up there.
you got to count your lucky star. At least you're not a Tigers fan. They've let a whole swag of
That's-
talent go in the last 10
and
years.
with
It's
Their
almost,
team
Fafita.
list of players that have left
With
in the last few
Fafita.
years.
it's almost
How
unbelievable.
they got rid of Fafita? They wanted to get rid of Bryce Gibbs. So the Sharks said, all right, we'll take Gibbs if you throw in Fafita. Great
Tom
nut.
Trbojevic
Ball
throws an
playing on an
absolute
edge.
peach to
Wow.
Brad Parker.
Just squared
Oh
up,
my
5 minute
tipped
mark.
it on.
An absolute peach of a ball. He gets a short ball out the back and then continues
Let's
it
watch
on
the
to Brad
replay. This is
Parker.
going to look nice.
They'll probably show us replay.
So play the ball
Yeah,
comes
here we are.
down.
Let's watch it. Yeah.
Dylan Walker
See,
goes out the
who was
back
it?
to Tom Trbojevic, who hits Brad Parker short.
Joel Thompson.
Absolute
He runs a
screamer.
good line, not a great one, but their inside defence was slow. Trbojevic squares up. Parker, another good local junior coming through. I don't know. Hopper got caught up on the inside man. He paid too much attention to Turbo. And they
Right,
got-
man. I know you don't care, but Tom Trbojevic is my captain in Supercoach, so
I
I am
imagine
rubbing
a lot
my
of people would.
hands,
Yeah.
rubbing my hands together right now.
And surely he's
I'm not a super coach person, but you've got to one of those key players that they call the spine. If you're picking a captain, it's got to be some lunatic like that. That's got
yeah.
But especially like for me, if I'm going to pick a captain, and I think I need someone who's probably going to score a try or have a line break or a
Everyone
try
good?
assist or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at someone and I look at the draw. And I see Tom Trbojevic is coming up against the Bulldogs, and I think surely in Sydney on a Sunday Arve, he's going to have a field day.
And you got to look at the weather and stuff like that. If you know it's pissing down, it's going to be like a 14-10 game.
Exactly, and you're not looking at too many line breaks or too many
You
tries.
got to go, all right, well, I've got to switch it.
Exactly. So,
Same in the NFL one too. Like if you've got
Ruben Garrick.
oh shoot,
Ruben Garrick corrects his
14-0.
two
If
prior
it's
misses
good
with a
at Central Coast, Gosford. Them, the Warriors, and the Knights. That's their home ground until at least round 9. On the shift, they get the shape going. Nice short hands.
terrific ball by Trbojevic to put Brad Parker over.
It's good. That's one thing you to see them develop, these young fullbacks, the ball playing. Even Val Holmes the other night.
He was
like just mixing
improved
it up.
out of
he's
sight.
Had 2 or 3 try assists. Different sorts of style. Like when he gets sniffing around the middle and learns, when they learn the best way to play these new rules, he's going to be devastating. Who said he didn't? He wasn't smart enough to play fullback.
That's I was talking to
Talking about fullbacks, what's his name? Rabbitohs.
Latrell. He's
Latrell.
absolute potato.
Go back to centre, cunt.
How about you go back to reserve grade
But
at
what
this
do-
stage?
You know,
'Cause he
like
was
I was
so
watching.
bad.
You know what he reminded me of? I was like, oh, that's just like a lazier Jared Hayne. That's what
Thing
I
is
felt
too,
there. But at
they've
centre,
got
I
no
love him at
fullback,
centre. He's
but
such a
they've
good
got
player,
no one to
but not a
dish the ball.
fullback.
Yeah.
Their trouble is their forwards aren't anywhere near as dominating as they was.
Yeah.
Without guys like Sutton, ball playing on an edge. Of course, Sam Burgess. George was another big body. When they held the ball and had good games, his mate...
And
There's an error by Brad Parker.
Reece,
coming out
good
of his
question
hand.
for you because you've played a bit of both. Wouldn't you find that if you're a good centre killing in the NRL and trying to go back to fullback, why would you want to put that pressure on yourself? Like,
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Because
number one,
if
I've
you
never
look,
played
I-
fullback, so that is definitely
But-
off the
okay,
cards.
but
But
yeah.
if you look at the NRL, but fullbacks get paid a
it's gonna be
significantly
money.
larger
Salary.
swag full
Them
of
and the
dollars
half.
than
value.
Them and the
centre.
halfback. Them and halfbacks are the highest paid
Exactly.
players.
And if you're at centre and you're looking at max, maybe even the premier centres in our league get max 800, and fullbacks are looking at $1 million plus. Like Ponga's just re-signed a big deal.
in the NRL at the moment.
Yeah, and he'd be on at least 800.
Who would be?
Manu Roosters,
He's very good, yeah.
solid.
So I think like that, he wouldn't be on more than 5, I don't think. 6.
But I think there's a
5.50
point in everyone's
maybe.
career, like when you see them at that level, like there's a time when you're a ball runner and you transition to a ball player because you get a
Yep.
bit older and
Yeah.
something's a bit
Dylan Walker,
changing
perfect
or
example of this.
evolving.
How they've just taught him to start the ball play.
But he's naturally a runner.
Yeah.
to
But
begin
but
with.
now I look
See, I
at
think Latrell's a natural runner.
Yeah.
Where he palms the first defender and sets up his winger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if he doesn't go through himself. But at fullback, he's trying to hit short balls and trying to think, okay, who am I hitting?
Yeah.
You know, so he's an absolute
But
lethal
that-
centre.
Yeah, that's what, and
Average
you've
fullback.
also seen him being a great defender. Like,
Yeah.
you know, when he gets when there's been games where you're like, yeah, he's totally off in defence tonight. But when he's on, he's like a GI cutting people in half, you know?
Yeah.
When he was dominating Chambers there a
Yeah.
couple of years ago.
Yeah, he was
And
dominating.
Chambers
Hard to
could,
watch, eh?
and like
Hard to watch.
I remember being there at that grand final, and when they had that scuffle where he threw him over the sideline
Yeah,
and
and
half
they
threw
got
him into
into
the
it.
fence,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like Chambers still a very good player, but that ruined him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He left
Yeah.
the NRL not long after.
Well, it
and
wasn't.
he's in Japanese rugby, earning the big yen now.
It wasn't too long before Latrell got a hold of him. He started to lose it slightly, and as soon as Latrell got his hands on him, Latrell embarrassed him probably 5 out of the 6 games they had between 2017 and 2018.
Showed that gap between
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
and probably still the second or third best in the league
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Chambers.
Even
He's
even
still
then,
solid.
because you saw him play, and they were both in the 2 top squads. One played for Manly, one played for the Chooks. But then you saw him also in the Origin arena, one playing for New South Wales, one playing for
Yeah, that's
Queensland.
right.
And then it showed you exactly how good Latrell was at centre, and when he put his mind to it, how good he could be defensively and on the attack against one of the better defensive centres. Because Chambers at the time was a better defensive centre, and then it just turned out Latrell dominated, and then he still thought it was in his own best interest to move to fullback.
So we're going at halftime, 14-0 Manly.
14-0 Manly with the potential to have been 18-0. 2 missed goals by Ruben Garrick. 2 tries to Travojevic, 1 try to Brad Parker.
They're tearing them up on those edges.
Yeah.
They're just having a field day.
Do you think the Bulldogs have any potential of points in the second half, right, man? No.
They're going to have to, if Manly's completion rates stay high, no.
Did Braden
But-
Astor go to the one shop in Gundawindi clothing shop and said, "Fit me out for this fucking TV"?
Yeah.
He looks terrible.
He looks like he's
Jesus
been on
Christ.
Offerdale's diet too.
Yeah.
He's like 500 kilos.
Oh fuck! And then Benny Eichen straight out of an IT fucking job.
Wow. That's silenced everyone. Wow. Okay. Anyway, we're back from
It's
that.
true.
We've got a
There's
few
another
questions
teacher.
coming up. Like Insta and that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
I'm
few
coming.
questions if you jump on. So, Reece, try and limit it into about 18 sentences. What makes you a better winger than Ethan Wheel?
Oh, nothing at all. Nothing at. He's got me covered. I get the shits. I did say get the shits when halves kick to my side. When you might be kicking, just throw it into the corner.
Yep.
What are you doing? You got Ethan Wheel, 20 years old, super fast, blonde, flowing locks.
Flowing like.
What are you doing kicking to my side?
We can speak of Ethan
Wheel is a
Wheel.
beast.
I've got a message here, another one from Jackie Walsh. She says, Ethan Wheel, what are your thoughts on the special guest? And Wheel has replied with, nice bloke, shit mo.
Shit, Mo.
I take that back. I tell you everything I just said
Yeah.
back.
Unleash.
Your
if you
4
want.
times better than Ethan. Mate Oliver over at Rugby League. in my
This
opinion,
question's a good one. Yeah.
he's asked thoughts on my post earlier today from where I suggested the second Brisbane team should be promoted from Q Cup.
Yeah, so they should promote a side up and then build an NRL club under the brand of, like, say, a Winner Manly, or it'd be Redcliffe or the Ipswich, around that Western Corridor,
Ipswich,
like an Ipswich area. Redcliffe too would have to encompass the sunny coast as well.
Yeah, I think it might. Like, if there's going to be a new NRL side, it'd have to be a promotion side. I don't think you could just bring a new name in and expect people to buy in. Like, if you just bought in the bloody
bomber, that's what they're
you
trying to
buy
create.
in
These
the-
Brisbane
the
Bombers.
Brisbane Bombers or something like that. No one's
There's no possible
exactly
way there's room for
exactly.
for-
And you look at someone like even a side like Redcliffe has a big enough fan base already, enough money, all this stuff. You try and bring a new club in with zero fan base, anything like that. It's just there's no way you'll get enough people behind the idea to make it successful.
And the thing, when Melbourne started, they'll make a finals early, and they gathered a good squad. Rebo and the hierarchy made a good squad. Unlike when the Crushers struggled and the Gold Coast, different Gold Coast teams, you've got to be at least a chance to win. You don't need to be making finals or win. But if you're not finishing last, finishing about middle, people will go watch you play because you've beaten some good sides. You've beaten some sides below you. You've been beaten by some sides below. You've been beaten by some good sides. You have to. People want to know that you actually have some talent there, and there is good times ahead because you can just sit at home and watch footy now. It's not cheap to go watch an NRL game if you're paying at least $30 each or more for take your family
On Facebook.
and then buy food and so forth. It's fucking adds up.
Are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why do we need another team?
Yeah, that's a
Will we dilute
I
the
reckon we've
pool?
got too many.
I think 16's enough, but will it dilute the pool at the moment? We've just coming through some sort of financial crisis due to the COVID-19 situation.
My question is,
I don't know.
My question is for another thing that gets me is like, obviously everyone's talking about expansion, blah blah blah, and we have all these rule changes and stuff like that. How many real changes have been in basketball, gridiron, soccer, AFL, all these? How many real changes? How many different teams have come in and out, blah blah blah, in the last 20 years? There's not that many in any other sport. We seem to be the only sport that think modification of our game is the way forward. Like in the last 4 years, we've had 10 different rules be chopped and changed or modified in some way. What was wrong with rugby league before? Why do we are the only sport that seems to think modifying our game to suit the viewer is the only way to go forward.
But we need people
to.
We need to make our game a product. We've had this chat before. Freddie said it. One of the few great contributions he's made. People don't join in to talk about good wrestles. You know what I mean? Like this, we'll get used to this. We've got to flow fast. Good sides will adapt. I've no doubt Melbourne will adapt to it. Bellamy and his coaching staff, they'll tinker with the way they play. They'll tinker with the playmaking, their structures, and the way they attack.
Melbourne and the Roosters. Trent Robinson, he'll be onto it.
We don't want to like
Brad Arthur, blokes like that.
You've played rugby, Reece. Like when they attack, that's one thing I used to like about the All Blacks is they wanted to score points. They had weapons to attack, and then you'd have a side like England that would have good attacking players, but they'd just kick you to death with penalties.
Oh, mate,
and that's dull as duck shit unless you're a rugby aficionado, unless it's a team you support.
Rugby union people play rugby union just purely on the rules of rugby union.
Exactly.
So I remember when I first played union, and we were like, why are we running these fucking double, triple loops?
Yeah.
It was all set before like the ball even came out of the scrum. It was a set move, just that's what you execute regardless. You go at the back. So we added in block plays. But then they started saying, when you call a block play, it's going at the back every time. It's not going in the front, ever. Well, hang on.
But
isn't that what you're trying to create a bit of you're trying to make
it gets predictable and dull.
Make decisions? No. In union, it was set.
The difference is, I can see the argument behind forming a product, but I also just, for me, I'm old school. I loved rugby league in the 2000s when I grew up watching it, and I love the wrestle. I've got to say I'm a big fan of the wrestle, and obviously not everyone's a fan of the wrestle, which I can agree with because I can see the upside and the downside to it being in the game. But I think us changing ourselves rapidly, just doing whatever we can to modify ourselves to fit someone else's definition of what a product should be, I have massive question marks over it because blokes like me who loved rugby league for what it was, that now, slowly, like even the one ref rule, the 6 again rule, I've got massive question marks over both of them. It makes me start to think more about the game, and I just would have rathered the game stay as what it was. We build a product around what it was through social media, through marketing, through all that sort of stuff, instead of changing the product to get people to like it. I think changing the presentation of the product
Yeah,
would have been
But
better.
that's a couple
what
of questions
they've
I wanted to
though.
ask you.
Like the Roosters showed the other night, and so did the Raiders. You can play that tough, uncompromising, dominant tackling without like wrestling the fuck out of you. Yeah, and they're giving away like 6 to goes and things like that. You take your chances on that if you're not ready for these sort of calls. You're just going to be tackling your ass off for the whole first half, and then you're gone.
But isn't that the point too, right? Is we're trying to get rid of penalties to get back to what the natural game is, which is fast flowing.
Yeah, we want to see
like-
attack.
We want to see attack. We don't want to see defense. I'm a big fan of
We prefer big
people
hits.
adapting techniques to
Yeah.
to slow the game down.
Yeah.
Because I think that's tactically really cool to
I
watch.
like them seeing the rule book and go, let's see how I can
we mix
manipulate this.
Yep. But I had a call from a mate said, "Oh, this is going to be horrible about that 6
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, but you're 115 kilos.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is not going to work for you when you're getting tired and giving away penalties." So
Oh man,
speeding up
the
game.
wrestle. I played an extra 150 games because you could flop and wrestle on people, and that was the way it
Plus
was.
on the wing, so
Yeah,
for
look.
my 3 tackles.
You know,
That
that was the thing.
out of there.
I remember when I was first coaching and had to play. I was trying to keep myself in decent nick, but I wasn't doing any footy training. This will struggle, and then you just find refs that let you, if you can get there quick enough and lay in. Don't get dominant. They'll let you lay around, slow the
Yeah.
ruck down. And Melbourne, because their contact's so clean and they know they're the master of the wrestle. We always say this, and not everything they do is illegal, but they know how to wrestle better than everyone else. Everyone gets frustrated from that, and the Roosters are very good. They're very good. They're pretty good in the wrestle too. Cronulla were always up there. Manly are always up there. Now that you have to tinker with some of the things, they'll come up with new ways to attack, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
We're not always going to see the same penalties given away that were given away this weekend in a month or 6 weeks.
But the thing,
It's just what happens.
Well, the thing I wanted to ask you is with the 6 again, right? It's not the same. They're not treating it like a penalty.
Because
they're not. You would never see in that Broncos game. You'd never see 4 ruck penalties in the first 20 minutes.
Exactly what I mean. I think the referees see it as not that much of a disadvantage to the defenders, which really it is. Because if you ever tried to defend,
especially those middle
that'll
boys.
change though. Like after this week, they'll all sit down and they'll go, "Hang on, what have we done
That's exactly
here?"
the thing. You don't know the motives the referee's been given. Like
And-
the referee's boss could have said, "You got to get 5 or 6 Ds in the first half," or whatever it is. But I think they feel like it's not that much of a disadvantage to the defenders, which it really is. It's massive.
This happened when
and
they
that's
had
why,
the 2 refs.
and that's why they're looking
6
at
weeks later, you didn't even notice
anything
Just
minuscule
deducted.
in the ruck
Yeah.
has been just called straight away. 6
And then,
again.
and then talking about the 2 refs, I think the 6 again suits a 2 ref game.
Exactly
I
right.
think because then that ref getting them back on side, which they haven't been doing this
at
round.
all.
The line speed's been unbelievable because
They're offside.
they're offside. The 2 refs suits a 6 to
The
go.
different
If you
styles of refs too is pretty
Sticking out a
obvious.
little bit more. Yeah.
Like Klein in that Roosters game, that was a lot different.
But then again, Ashley
to
Klein in the
this
Roosters
here.
game, if
Yeah.
you watch the Roosters game, you can see there's 2 players I picked just from watching the game at home. I picked Luke Keary and Jared Hargreaves. Both of them were offside every single play. And that's because Ashley Klein was too invested in trying to focus his attention on the ruck and didn't have enough time to
So tell me,
work
kids,
on his...
anyone know what are the touches doing?
That's
I've
the
seen-
I saw
greatest
2
I've-
touches. I said,
I know.
didn't we just budget cut the hell out of the
Yeah.
NRL
And
and we've left 2
exactly
touches?
And
Like,
I've seen
what are they,
a lot
can they
of
call offside?
yeah.
They can call anything.
They can do anything, and
but
they're
just
not even
don't.
calling forward passes. There's been a lot of very flat passes.
Can they call 4 passes as well?
Yeah,
They
They
can
can
call
give you the
anything.
signal.
They can call anything.
ever.
Yeah.
The worst one was on Friday night. The Titans, the first chance they had with the football, Tyrone Peachey got the ball on the right edge and he got put on his back and he had the ball pinned through his shoulder above his head. It was clearly not a loss of possession, and the replay proved that he held the ball completely. And they called a ruck penalty for a strip. Oh, they called a knock on against him, where a pocket referee, a ruck referee, would never have let that happen. Because you can clearly see that the ball hasn't been lost. And there's a touch judge right there. This was just near the touchline. Belinda Sharp was standing right there. Nothing. the referee from 25 metres away calls a knock on. With a second referee there, that doesn't happen. That mistake doesn't happen. And the Cowboys scored the next set. I'll have you know.
Also, don't have women referees, eh?
Well,
No, I'm only
well,
kidding.
You're really not kidding. You're really not.
He's too busy now.
He says he's kidding, but he's not really.
No, it's really
Speaking
not.
I'm honestly kidding.
Speaking
If
of-
you watch more than 3
If it was
episodes,
up to Freddie,
you know
I
that's
was gonna say,
not a joke.
if it was up to Freddie, we just wouldn't have women at all. You know.
Stop reffing.
except when Julia Robinson's on, and it's, I'm all in for it. Women's sport's such a great
Do you know
thing,
I
an
noticed-
excellent spectacle.
Did you have your shirt off in the end photo
Yeah,
of that?
he encouraged
How
you.
did that happen?
Did you not listen to that episode?
I did, yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I didn't watch it.
didn't watch it.
So then I saw a picture.
So I set it up. So I go,
Really stitched me
Dano,
up
The
hard.
ring
we'll
out.
tip you up. So but we tipped Julia up, but it was a joke on Righty. So that when we were talking, Dano just took his shirt off and sat back down and continued like nothing happened. Julia was in on it, and she was such a pro. She kept talking the whole conversation.
Bro, she was
Righty-
stone cold. We
but
were
the
both
funniest
laughing
thing is,
our arse off.
Righty didn't skip a beat. He didn't give a fuck. And then
He's
after
just like,
the
"Oh, it's
after the
straight old Dano,"
podcast,
you know?
after the
And
podcast,
then-
he goes, "Yeah, I know, because you stupid motherfuckers would have organised something early, try to trick me up about it."
And then I
so
said,
cold,
look
eh?
on her Instagram and see the rig her boyfriend's got. I would not be taking your shirt off around her because you got to come off second best by a long way.
All right.
Like shredded.
Here's another question for you before we get to some other questions. But I wanted to talk about
Another question before we get to some other questions.
no, like from other people.
Okay.
But can they got to re-explain a dominant tackle to us
Yeah,
now?
they have.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
100%.
There's no such thing.
Exactly right. Because
I've
even
yelled
if
that
you-
out a couple of times.
Even
Yeah.
if you have one, the referees are
And-
still calling that 6 again rule because they think it's not that much of a disadvantage. They've
There's no such thing as a
referees
dominant
are
tackle.
doing this in
And
their
I know
sleep,
I'm
bro.
a Broncos dick rider, but Stags did a awesome dominant tackle. No, it wasn't Stags. Sorry, it was Turban. And he was looking up at the ref. He was working him over because he dominated, put him on his back, worked him over 6 again. You're like, what the
So
fuck?
what they need to do is bring it back in.
Yeah,
And if you've got a 1-on-1, 2-on-1,
yeah.
then call dominant. Call it and
Okay.
then let them lay on it. Let
Yeah.
them give them a couple more seconds to get up.
Yeah.
If they're gonna speed it up, allow them to do that. But there's
Yeah.
no such thing as dominant tackle anymore.
No,
It's not
that's
even a
it.
rule.
And you know how, like,
So,
When
so
refs
guys,
get
we're
their
back
own-
playing. It's 39 minutes and 7, 6,
Manly
5.
opening set of the second half.
Sean Kepi has a
Fifth
good hit up
tackle.
the middle.
Cherry
Comes-
Evans on this right side.
Oh,
turns it
inside
back to
ball to
Turbo. They
Trbojevic.
run it.
Oh wow.
Oh, great
hands.
hands. Ruben Garrick.
What's he
sizes
got
him
here?
up,
Oh,
Grubbers it in.
oh.
Gets a
Good
repeat set
recovery.
for his side.
No,
Oh,
tackle just
knock
he held
backwards,
that.
they called.
Just hold there for a second, please.
Refs always have one of those pet peeves that every off-season they talk about, we're going to police this, we're going to police that. Now, with these new rules, they've got even bigger things they're going to police. I'm just wondering if after this week, we got another, 17 weeks. Are we going to be still in 2 months on the show talking about them refereeing the same way? Or will they be...
Nah, it'd be
See, I
Or
think
when we
they
get to
adapt-
the finals, and now grand final and Origin, how are they going to ref? Are they going to ref Origin the same way?
No, like I think Sutton was like thrown into the fucking ring of fire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I
like,
reckon the Roosters game was so much different.
it was
ref-
way
Yeah.
better.
Oh,
to the
heaps
Broncos.
way
So
better.
they're
It
definitely
was better
watching and
'cause
going,
they-
okay, that's
They put
not
the
good.
whistle away for the Roosters.
And there is
game.
talk
It's-
that referees boss do talk to referees in upcoming games. Like if some big calls are made, say on one of the Friday night games, they'll say, "Listen, that shouldn't,
but it's
you
so
can't
funny.
allow this, and we have to do
and
that."
they
differently."
they obviously have reviews, just like players,
Oh,
just like coaches,
yeah.
just like everyone else.
Bro,
has
the
reviews.
refs is so cutthroat. Like
Exactly. And the worst thing with the referees is they're in the spotlight because there's been that many times that games have been decided by referees, not by football. And we don't want a situation where referees are deciding games. We want football deciding games.
How good's our life? You
Oh,
going?
nice.
There's 3 people
Sully was
watching.
another one.
You know why? There's another podcast on tonight, and Ben Barber's on live.
Yeah, we got Reece
On
Ketu.
TI, yeah.
yeah,
So
we got Reece Ketu.
it's all
There's
I got
one
the
thing
text, I got
too.
the
I
text
reckon
message.
Reece would have Ben Barber butt in a
Speak-
skills challenge.
Please.
And maybe in a throwing rocks at his missus
I got
challenge
him
too.
in nothing
maybe.
except for leaving my missus alone.
Speaking of the Titans
That's all
before,
I got him covered for.
there's only the only bloke
Maybe a
Ju-
Mad Monday. he's got
Justin
me.
Holbrook. Justin Holbrook's in a horrible position at the Titans. The only bloke I can think could be in a worse position than Justin Holbrook.
Is the Titans themselves?
No, it'd be the lawyer who defends you when your performance-enhancing drug ring eventually gets broken and they lock you up, and you've got to say and come up with explanations why you're an innocent man. Okay,
Right.
Poor Holbrook. He's come from a side that's a dominant beast in England, won the grand final, probably lost 4 or 5 games. Now he's 3 in and looking like if we win 5 games this year, I'll be happy.
If you win a game, I reckon they'll be impressed.
Hit
And we
us
got
up.
a few messages on the live. Kieran Cook, he's a Pommy fellow. He
Oh,
used to be in my house,
Keza,
mate.
yeah.
He's a good mate of mine. Moved back to England. He's tuned into the live feed. He said, thoughts on the NRL introducing a Super 8 style promotion relegation?
Nah, don't like it.
No, I don't like it either.
Like they even they're axing it over there in England too,
Yeah.
because it's too hard for club to generate revenue.
It's a massive jump
It's
financially.
huge. It's huge.
Oh.
And just, you know,
All right,
Yeah.
picture
we're
it.
watching a Bulldogs team right now. I watch a lot of footy and I can't even name half of them. Like that, you can't bring in another team just expecting fire and in an off season.
Trojovic cut out past it to
Oh,
Flores,
Georgie
in the
boy.
corner.
Geez, they set that up well.
Jeez,
Another
Trojovic
try
is
for-
scoring well in Supercoach. I just have to
Another-
say that quietly.
Another great nut from Turbo.
We got a
They set it
message
up
here
on the
from
spread.
Zach Mose who says, we want more Reece Ketu.
Nice.
I think that means take your shirt off, big dog.
Another Sanford great. Old Zachy boy,
Great.
brother of the man that.
Yeah, all right.
Charlie
Yeah, oi,
brother, right?
I got to get this up before fucking his phone goes out again. But Ollie goes writes thoughts on how our interview turned out. Did you guys read Righty's interview?
He's
No.
the head of
He was on.
Uruguay
He was on.
Rugby League
Was it
Oh.
Rugby League, in
everything
my
rugby
opinion.
league? Everything in rugby
Yeah.
league though. That it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
anyway,
rugby league,
so
in my opinion. That's,
I read it. It was a fucking.
It's
it was
written
a-
by Oliver, who's
Yeah.
the he runs rugby league in my opinion too.
Yeah,
He's a good
but
lad.
then also he says, so that like ask about the interview and says, and Dano, can I interview you on the intricacies of clubbing and picking up females in Brisbane? I hear you're the king.
I could definitely comment on those two.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Those two topics.
Yeah.
Maybe if you got me a few years ago, if you got 20-year-old Dane, then yeah, I could have given.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID Dane, I would have given you all you needed to know, mate. But at this stage, I can tell you how to be a faithful man, and I can tell you how to drink Brick Lane Brewery beers on a Sunday night.
And Ollie, interview was great. I love the way the article turned out.
Yeah, but
Thanks heaps for it.
You
It
did.
was-
Thanks for the Any Given Monday
Yeah, the
shout
plug.
out, bro.
Freddie
Fuck,
plugged the
man.
He
fuck
plugged.
out of us.
He plugged it. He gave the plug when he was promoting the article before we did it. He
Oh,
said
Ollie
add me
did,
on it,
yeah.
So that was
Shout out to Ollie too. He's
Good man.
He runs his own style of rugby league, like reporting sort of station at Rugby League, in my opinion. And he's a good friend of the show. He looks after us over here, and we try and do our best to plug him as well. So thanks, Ollie, for your input into our shows, and also for looking after Freddie and Righty.
And
in
also
the
our
interviews,
boy
so-
Nate always shouts us out.
Yeah, Nate Gladden, Rugby League in America podcast. The man has copious amounts of followers because he's a great bloke and he's doing great things.
He's got a
Footy
Smoking
right
hot
now.
He's got a
misses, yeah.
smoking
Oh,
hot
good
missus.
call,
He must
Freddie.
be, he
Fuck
must be
yeah.
packing some heat. You know, you're not in an American military without a fucking piece. So, and I don't think
He's been in the military for 20 years too, hasn't he?
I don't think he's got a license for that one between his legs. So, fucking couldn't get one.
The
It's too big.
cockologist strikes, does he?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's circumcised. I don't know. I
Well,
should ask him.
Well, I reckon
Send
we
him a
can find
question and find out.
out. Well,
What? So you think we'll get off the ground to play some footy? Do you
No.
think West will?
I don't
the
think
way
we
we-
will.
I think
Too many clubs are pulling out.
Yeah, the more I'm looking at the leagues,
hard.
right, man, I think the more and more we're going towards.
And I
a-
hope people
a
from
write-off
Debra
season.
listen to this podcast because go fuck yourselves. You
'Cause
were
you got-
scared.
And
Think
you got-
about 2015 when you fucking choked again.
Yeah, think about when your third head falls off and
Yeah.
you're just left with two. You fucking hillbillies.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Kano,
dogs.
good work coaching yourself to forfeit in.
Yeah.
Nice, mate.
Wow.
But also, if you want to come play for
Go
West
on,
Go
Coast,
Trebojevic! Go Trebojevic!
Shout
Oh,
out Kane's
This is a penalty.
Shout out Kane's
yeah.
I still love you, brah.
Kane also, yeah,
still love ya.
we'd take his halfback. Come on.
Don't listen to Freddie. Come back, bruh. Or dead set though, best 5 I ever played with.
Oi, one of the
Absolute
best
gun.
kicking games I've ever seen. Him and we've
he's
Wow.
got golden feet.
oh man, He's the size of his boot too. Like
Unreal, eh? Defensively
you,
too.
You
like,
get a penalty on like the 60 out. He's like, yeah, I'll slot it.
We were standing.
Why has he got so many silver medals then?
We were.
right, man.
Just saying it.
Wow.
I seen him playing a grand final once. They
Wow.
lost 8, nearly had one run in the whole
wow.
game.
We were standing. We were standing in the beer garden at Norse last year for the West Grand Final, and it got down to the wire. Kano had a shot at field goal from 40 out, facing the beer garden at Norse, which, for those of you who are up with the Brisbane Rugby League, is probably 40 metres back from the boundary line of the field. And Kano struck a ball, and it's dead set. This pillar's landed straight up where we were standing drinking beers. It would have been the largest drop kick you've ever seen. He's missed the post by a fucking dead set of flies, Dick.
Was that in the grand final?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
he's
would have
kicked the
put him
ball
up.
80 metres. Not even.
He did.
no
He
word of
recruited a
lie.
good side out there this year at Debra. They would have been right up there with some of the blokes he had.
Yep. Well,
Like,
let's
unlucky.
hope the season.
I
does
have
kick
heard
back off.
from a bloke I spoke to who's a referee, and he did tell me there will be a comp for whoever wants to play in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I realise that. I realise that there's going to be some form of rugby league played this year, but with the amount of sides pulling out, and with the chances of BRL and reserve grade coming back, I think these sides are going to be that diluted of talent, or that steroid filled with talent. So, like, you're looking at a comp where there's potentially no BRL, no reserve grade side, potentially no 3 side because they couldn't get enough players, and then you've got this sort of midway side that's got BRL players, that's got Div 3 players. I think it's just going to be a bit of a shambles.
But I was having a chat, and this is totally off your topic, Dano, because that was boring me. But with
All right, hero.
3 beers in. He's ready
Go,
to go.
Gary.
Hey,
Go,
here he
Gary.
is.
Yes.
No.
He's in my...
Oh, but
Fingers
did
and
you
the-
hear about Fox Sport and the audio track that they're playing?
No.
So how they sorted that out?
Oh,
So-
in this the crowd noise.
Yeah, so they outsourced it to like some companies, some like tech companies, and said like, "Oh, we want crowd noise. Can we sort this out?" And the quotes came back ridiculous. So Fox was like, "Fuck it, we'll do it ourselves."
Isn't it Zoom?
And they the technology they use, and so what they've actually done. So if this was on this is on Fox, but so the crowd noise we hear for Manly is actually Manly supporters from a Manly game. So they use technology to go back all through that and like drop cookies into everything and grab audio from like when they score, when they kick a goal. And then now other leagues are paying for that technology from Fox that they built for the NRL.
So you do similar things in the A League,
Yeah.
et cetera. That and the higher
Exactly.
league.
Yeah. So they're following suit of these guys, but it's like they patented it and they're killing it with it. And like Nines is generic. So Nines is just like like a laugh track, where this is like they've done it for like it's a Bulldogs.
Yeah, where if the
cheering.
Bulldogs
Yeah,
make a
right,
break,
right.
it's
Exactly,
like
yeah.
there's Bulldog supporters cheering. Like I noticed it with the Storm last night when they get a penalty and that. And I said that to my missus.
There's booing.
It's
as
almost
well.
there's people there.
Remember the booing? They were playing
Yeah.
the booing. There's some guy sitting there hitting the boo button too.
Yeah.
Let's get Fats onto that. If the comp does
How
That'd be
about
good.
why
Let's
don't
get
they
him on.
get me to just scream into a microphone for hours? Because I don't mind throwing a bit of chat at a football game. And I tell
Get a
you
few
what,
rumbos
I think
in you.
I think I could self sledge one side for 80 minutes. I reckon. So if you put me on one side, then Reece on the other side, I'll back Manly and he can back the Dogs, and we just go head to head for an hour.
Reece,
and a
who
half.
is your team, bro?
I'm gonna say Broncos because my
Yeah.
young fella. I'm trying to get him to. Well, he's buying into footy. He
Oh,
loves it.
how old
but
is he?
9,
Oh shit.
Does he play anywhere?
a runner.
Oh yeah, unlucky
Yeah.
for the lad. But he'll get better. Don't worry.
I think
Life will
we've-
get
I
better.
think we've lost like one game in 3 years. But
Is Anthony Rogers his
Lucky you're
coach?
talking about juniors because the seniors are
Brian
dog
Brown.
shit.
Oh, Brown. No,
Brownie,
love
shout out
Brown.
Brownie.
Hello.
Brownie
Love
might be
Brown.
one of 3 people listening tonight. So
Nice.
Yeah.
love
And then
Brown.
what is it? Jet is who's in
Jetty's
that?
Brownie. Yep, he's
Yeah.
a gun.
Is-
And Tynan as well as a year younger.
Yeah.
So that's Brownie's son as well, playing in
Yeah.
the same team with my young fella Boston. And,
Are they like Brown?
they're
Just
actually a
tonight.
gun team though. You know, like people ask, "Oh, do you go good?" And I'm like, they're actually like legit,
Yeah.
really good side. Like they
nice.
carve up. We went out to Redcliffe one day, and these kids are wrestling. We're like, no, that's not the team we're playing. No, don't worry. These kids are pummeling and stuff.
Yep.
Really?
And next thing, we're like, no, that's not them. This little team walks past. Like, yeah, that's the team we're playing. It's all good, boys. So chill out. And they walk past, and then the big kids
Yeah,
run on that
penalty.
were pummeling. Like, oh no.
Dean
Yeah.
Britt,
8-year-olds
blatant pass off
pummeling
the ground.
like at Redcliffe.
Yeah.
And our boys carved them up. So
Oh yeah.
it was good.
That's the thing we're talking about too, Righty. When sometimes it's too early. Like you see coaches of a 12 side running through block shapes, running through shape and stuff like that.
Oh, it's never too early for a double block shape, but
But like you got to get the fundamentals
Triple
right
block.
first. You got to get your defense right. You got to get your simple catch pass, all the fundamentals, and then you can start working into that sort of shit.
Me and Scrape
And-
were always filthy. The rap went away.
You probably still hold on to the mousetrap.
what's happening to Scrape? Is he coming back or what?
Nah, he's just I
Is he
think he's
retired?
golfing, man. His handicap's
Golf?
like under
He-
5.
He does love.
He's crazy.
Oh, is he
dude.
actually a good golfer?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
he's
legit.
a member of
He's
Capera and he
legit.
swings
wow.
the club pretty
Yeah,
well.
I last time
And he also hangs out at the skate park and listens to.
Yeah.
I might be-
Blink
I might be
182,
one-
Blink
He
182.
got every
Yeah.
known Blink one.
With Melancholy.
Yeah,
Just wears his etnies down the bowl, and just starts skating with the boys.
A few
It's
kick
sweet.
flips.
Yeah. One of Mad Mondays, I went dressed as Scrape. And,
Yeah.
I wore,
Oh,
and he
no
gave me
way.
his etnies and shit. I was wearing a corn shirt.
It was sweet too.
Yeah.
He's like, don't wreck it, bro.
Yeah,
That's
and
actually my
the
kid.
next day he goes,
Don't wreck my kid.
he goes, bro, I need all that stuff back. And I was like, yeah, sweet.
He's like, I've got an Evanescence concert tomorrow. I'm gonna need that shit
Great
back.
kicking game on you,
Yeah.
but
I fucked a girl with dreadlocks and a sticky puss and I just scraped stuff, brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
You take our show to such a high level. Times 3 9. But that's
So
with teaching.
2015,
Yeah.
What a side they
So, you
had.
know,
He stacked it and they won.
I actually
Just-
came to your guys' preseason training for
Yeah.
3 weeks, that preseason.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, I'll go play union with my mates.
And where'd you go? Everton Park Roosters.
Yeah, the Roosters.
Yeah, nice. You,
Well,
And
that
we
preseason.
lost to
And
GF,
was
and
I
you guys
coaching?
won a GF that same year.
Yeah, but when you come down, was I there coaching? Because that was the year I was coaching.
Was
It was me.
Stinger? Was Carl there?
Yeah, he was there,
Yeah,
yeah.
Stinger was there.
That was it. Did you just win the GF?
Yeah.
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 You had a really good side in the preseason. I was like,
oh, they had a really
yeah.
good side.
We
like-
did. We did have a good side, but I think this year's side was better.
Me too.
We'd love to have
I
seen
spoke
it.
to-
We'd
I
love to
spoke
have
to-
seen it play.
I spoke to Davey Mayfield through the week and he said he's not coming back. And I said, I'm off you. I'm fucking off.
Oh,
you."
really? Why is he not coming back?
He's too old, you reckon? He's
Okay.
30 years old, ruptured MCL,
Yeah.
and he's done.
He'd be playing footy at 30.
Who's
Wow.
Dave?
The body.
Oh, the board.
Yeah.
The board.
Oh yeah.
The pins. Dolan's son.
But
Dolan-
what was crazy? What was crazy, Reece, is when we did the little like opposing the skill sessions with you guys. You guys were so fucking like on point this year. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, you reckon?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, there's some
Yeah,
bloke.
look
What you're
at
saying
Briscoe.
about standout, some blokes ridiculous. You can just tell they played at high level.
Yeah.
Where with us, there are some blokes who might be good footballers, but their skill levels aren't up to like blokes like him who have played more experienced footy. And you got to upskill some blokes, and then you got Voorhey who's off on his own tangent, who can do unreal things.
Yeah, freak.
But like he's not doing it with the team. Where the thing is that like he was saying that to me one. I was
He said he's
Hands by the Bulldogs down the left
This
side.
is a good shift. They like we were saying that last night about blokes with the I know blokes who got would have the talent to play cup, and he said to me, would I have the talent to play cup, right? And I said, honestly, yeah, you'd have the talent, but you wouldn't have the fucking attitude. You can't
the
fit into a
size.
Can you
team.
imagine Voorhey?
He's physically
decked
very
out
strong,
preseason
but I don't know if
in a
he'd be.
system
I don't know if
where he
he'd-
does a full preseason,
Yeah,
like
but the thing
super
is,
fit,
then you got to
super
get him.
gymmed up.
But then he also opens his mind up and listens to people.
He
Exactly.
doesn't-
No, that's the
Yes.
thing. If you could finally get him to listen and buy into a system,
Like
then
Voorhey, that
potentially-
Ritalin you buy off me, mate. Take it before training and listen to guys say.
He's mate. That prelim final we had,
Oh,
He
whoa, 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 whoa,
was
whoa, whoa.
unbelievable.
Oh,
the prelim.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the grand.
He's like he
pumped
was.
the breakthrough.
Caught
They
him by
brought him on, put him in
surprise
the back of a
and
scrum, and he just
talking to him before your grand final. He was in that mindset of, yep, I carved them up 2 weeks ago. We'll kill these blokes again. And I was going,
Oh,
mate,
not those
that
ones.
doesn't mean, mate. 2 weeks ago don't mean shit. They were
Yeah.
they'll you caught them by surprise. They'll be awake, and every time he got near the ball, the instructions were in that grand
Doubled
final
him,
were
eh?
put him on the ground. Remember when Olmay, he he went to pick it up from dummy half, passed it, and then about 2 seconds later got knocked on his ass. Like instructions from
it was a really late shot
from Jason Gainey. Just
it was.
I want to put him on the ground, and I don't know how he handles adversity at times. When it starts getting tough, he'll want to sub off and things like that. Like he can do some ridiculous things. It's just he can't work with other people well, and he can't take if he fucks something up. He won't just say that was my fault. But he has the longest pass of a football I've ever seen. I've seen him kick 40-20s that were fucking outstanding. He can goal kick. He's fast as fuck, but he's just not tough.
He's got plenty of
It's talking
potential.
about me now or what?
Oh.
Boy.
I thought we were talking about your mate Spearsy.
Should have had you at fullback.
Oh, please.
I thought we were talking about your mate Spearsy. He's so much of a utility.
we talking about Spearsy?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, apparently,
Ball player, fast.
Oh,
Sounds
we're up
like
to
Roddy
four.
Johnny.
We're up to
Wow.
4 viewers now on our live feed. Killing it.
Shout out to the missus.
Yeah.
She's on.
Yeah, my miss is probably up there on 2 screens. Like got 2
Yeah.
laptops up. Ben Barber, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
No, but back what you were saying at the start of the season, we had the squad to go at 100%. We were going to go really hard in A grade and reserve grade this year. We had the squad. The
definitely.
culture was unreal.
Mate,
like
the A-grade
our
squad was
camp was unbelievable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And coming back from
Oh,
that to then
just
going
to
to
go
COVID
Down.
was pretty shitty.
Like blokes like
Go Tommy.
Jared McCallum and that. Like he's unreal.
He's a freak.
Like, he was.
He says to me
played
one session, we're on the run, we're like coming good ball sets, and he goes, where is he? He goes, cheesecake, or he says something random like, or stay on. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what that means. Running in, he puts his ball like I didn't have to move. It just landed in my hands. Training try.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing better than a
I felt like
training
retiring on the spot. It was that good.
Have
His
you had
ball-
one, Dana?
Training try?
Yeah.
Oh, I've had multiple. I actually scored one in opposed against the reserve grade side last year, and I thought my
Well,
cock
that's
was-
probably a story your mum says to everyone.
No. I thought my cock was made of concrete. No joke. I was like, this is the best.
What?
thing ever.
Okay.
And
Well,
if you're talking about mum, surely you're not talking about that. You're talking about the looks, surely.
When,
all you ever do is hit me up. For
when you're doing video review, what do the coaching staff say to blokes that run out of the line and try and solve things by themselves? What is their feedback for them?
Oh, I can't say it. I don't think the language is allowed
Okay,
on podcasts, eh?
What about when?
you ever listened to this
What,
podcast before?
what, do you-
Flat
what,
language.
what about when you get into good ball and the experienced dummy half who's played at 2 World Cups starts throwing balls at blokes' knees? What do you say
Knees.
to
I'm more like ankles, brother. Ankles.
Yeah. What about when that player also has to think about 7 other positions that he has to play that one game to
You-
cover everyone else's fucking ass?
Wait, don't you talk about playing
Jesus
more than one
Christ.
position a game?
Jesus Christ. Oi, you need to play fullback this game. All right, sweet. Oh, now you're back to half. Okay, cool. Now you're at a hooker. All right. And do you want me to be coach while I'm out on the field too? Yeah, I'll do that as well.
Bruh,
All right, motherfuckers.
Are you kidding me? I played
Yeah.
14 positions in the one game. There's only 13.
Yeah.
I've just
Actually, for the
played
first
all.
4 weeks I knew,
Yeah.
I didn't know what position
Yeah,
you
no,
played.
the
Dana.
three-
I still
You
don't
got
know
moved
what
that
position
often.
I am. I'm,
Bro.
we're in going to win the, I played the first game.
Is he half?
Bro,
Yeah.
The first
Bro,
game
you
we're going
played
to
4 positions. 14, 15, 16, 17. That was it, bro.
You've still played one position, me, Freddie.
Burn, motherfucker.
You've played one position the whole time I've known you, Freddie, and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
hero.
Denny's because that was a grand slam.
Oh, yeah. Ha, ha,
Good
ha.
shoot. Cherry Evans puts a little nut in.
I've only ever seen you play one position,
I
Christian.
mean, he
That's
takes
my
it
hero,
dead,
right?
drop out. Bulldogs dropping it out. They're just dominating this right side.
Yeah,
They're
no,
just
that's
tearing
why
them
this
up.
game's kind of boring.
I need
it's
to
18
play.
nil.
Okay.
I need him to score 40 points to get my multi.
Fucking Cherry Evans is fucking.
Manly
into
look well on top.
corners.
The Bulldogs haven't looked.
And I
Yeah,
think the
this is
Bulldogs
big.
will be struggling in Super League at the moment, eh?
They haven't looked dangerous at all. They
Come west, bro.
come where's bar?
Come west.
Who would be the most skillful bloke there at West? Like when you're training that, there's always blokes that stand out. Like you're surprised at their skill level. Like, but a bloke who can play. I've seen plenty of blokes that come. They train well. They pass well. They'll talk a lot of talk, and then you get out there and they're like hard as limp dicks. Like who can actually back up the chat? There's plenty of guys I know like that.
There's blokes at West that I've seen, even in the couple of sessions we had against them. Like blokes like I've known Jake Kelly for a while, and I've seen him come through when he's playing at Aspley and then playing at Valleys, and now he's at West. So his ball
Zero.
his ball playing is pretty top notch for a big fella, and same as blokes
Curtis
like
Sirenen scores to
like,
make it 22-0.
Lockie Folds, blokes like that. They're
Foldy.
for bigger boys, they definitely got great hands and great skills.
There's a lot of blokes. There's a lot of blokes that just very early in the preseason, you just know they're just freaks. Like, sweet. Like BK, the amount of work he puts in, he's just a gun. Like, there's a lot of guns.
Yep.
But I reckon like the most natural footballer, and could be on the piss for 3 days straight and turn up and carve you, like score 4 tries. Yeah. Gav Corzar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. He's probably at home doing Vorteces now on the sash, and then he'll come out tomorrow and dominate.
One day at East, he just couldn't. He had spiders on him. He dead set. No one wanted to go anywhere. He scored that many tries.
He scored 4 tries,
me sick.
Didn't he?
Yeah,
and he was just untouchable. He's been the same every single game I've ever watched him play, and the best game he played was that grand final you played in last year. The Beenleigh side, dead set. It looked like I was watching an NRL player play against an under 12 side. Gav, every single time he touched the ball, he just would.
So in terms of skills and just individual ability, Gav Corzar.
He would do a half in and away, and 3 blokes would hit the deck without being touched, and he'd go straight through and then stand the full back up and put the ball down under the sticks. It's like, I couldn't believe it from the beer garden, and then thinking about it even closer, you just cannot believe how good it was.
Has he gone to Biwa?
Yeah.
He's gone to Biwa, and they just signed Marlon Doak too, who is Express, has played Cup. So they're going to be fucking strong. They're going to be strong as fuck.
Just so weird that they've gone out hard and signed
Shank
so many
again.
blokes, considering the season hasn't even kicked off yet.
Yeah,
It's like,
100%.
So mad Monday signing. Like they've just signed like the best crew ever for their biggest Mad Monday.
How filthy will they be if it gets called off and they look back at the blokes they'd have on the books?
All right, while this game's 22-0 at I'm going to hit you with some more questions. So Wheelie goes, Cameron Smith, thoughts on how he went under the new rules last night?
I still think he's got a great beer.
Oh, mate, Smith, he was where most of their points were coming from, him and Munster. I didn't think Jerome Hughes was offering a lot because they were getting smothered by that D. Like, Munster's running game sensational. Like, it's just all dummy halves are going to struggle when you're getting choked out of the game. I thought Damien Cook wasn't anywhere near as dangerous on Friday night because the Roosters' D didn't let him be dangerous. Smith, they'll adapt to this and they'll tinker with things. Remember, they changed some rules like 18 months ago or so, and Melbourne were getting done. Like, their outside backs like to jump early, so you can't shift it. So you got to force you back in.
And both halves get up really quick.
And they were awake to that and penalising them. So things like that, they know how to. They have a fantastic coaching staff there, even without Adam O'Brien.
They'll adapt the quickest, but I think it's hard because all credit to
Turbo.
the Raiders. The Raiders just
Turbo
were
McClear.
like on fire.
Gives it to Brad Parker. Scored near those
That's
posts.
2 try assists, 2
down
tries
that left
for Tom
side.
Trbojevic.
So also going on that one, what you were saying, Reece, is where Cameron Smith, I think he actually came out and he said, "Oi, look, I'm going to analyse for a couple of weeks. Then we'll build the game
They'll work
plan."
it out
and
quicker
then
than anyone. I'm surprised they didn't sort of change some things last night, but it's all credit to Raiders. They absolutely
to be
played.
fair, Canberra came out.
Even was one-on-one tackles were better. Like, it was freakish what
They
they did.
were
When you look at it, no Bateman. Bateman wasn't there.
And
Mate, I'll tell you what, Canberra have stood up. I think Canberra are becoming the ultimate big game team because they've noticed over the last 12 months, they've beat Melbourne 3 times on the trot, and all 3 times have been in Melbourne.
And now they've got a dominant half.
Exactly. And
George Williams.
No one beats Melbourne in Melbourne, and they've done it 3 on the trot. So I think they're the perfect side to start building this sort of like Titan-like defense against them, where they know they can come out against any side on any day and stand up and get that win. Like to beat Melbourne in Melbourne once is impressive, twice is incredible, and 3 times almost.
It's like they don't have that curse, eh?
Exactly.
They don't carry that Melbourne Storm curse where they're like, we're beat.
Exactly.
Because I think half of them are 19, 20 years old. They're all freaks.
Very young. But you
even
think
Horsburgh, like, how did he not got? He's gone down there, absolute machine,
and just killed it.
You know what I like seeing too is what's his name that who traded to Tigers, the hooker.
Oh, Harry Grant.
Yeah,
He's
killing
unreal
it, bro.
player.
Killing
He
it.
did,
And he's going back
fuck.
next year. Yeah.
I'm so glad. Like, what I would have hated to see, he goes down there and kind
All the
of
ooze.
struggles
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you're like,
But he's
oh,
gone
that's
straight into the
why.
fight.
And then
Yeah.
he's going to be
I didn't
straight
realise who
back.
he was
Yeah.
for like
Fuck it. That was easy.
halfway through the game. Then
Yeah.
I googled who the team list was. I was like,
Right.
"There's Harry Grant."
Yeah.
But Walters had a blinder too, so they worked well
I'm
together.
glad to
They
see-
did work
They
very
were
well.
really good.
Wait, that's the thing. Billy Walters came off the bench and changed the game, which is
Yeah.
like what Broncos didn't have, which is what the Dragons didn't have, which are both losing sides, I'll have you know. Sides that didn't have that bloke to come off the bench and add that dynamic sort of runner in
Which
the middle.
in
Yeah.
the new world of footy, if
Exactly.
we're getting 60 games like that,
Exactly. It's very
that-
important. You
that
need,
look at-
second
and you
line
need to
is going
look
to be
at
everything.
Jared-
You don't want an all-day tackler
you need
anymore.
someone,
You want
someone who can come on and get out of hooker and create something.
Yeah.
Especially when forwards, like yesterday in the Warriors game, the Warriors had 46 sets. When was the last time you've ever heard us?
I can't believe I didn't watch that game, but they completed 90%.
44 or 46.
Have you noticed this?
It was
Their
a
first
it was
44
a, wasn't it
sets.
the it
Reece,
was the most
it's a record.
Hasler's
That's
only
a
just
record.
made his last two interchanges. He brought Corey Waddell on and he brought Lockie Croker on after 65 minutes.
And
So-
how's Benji
When
Marshall?
they're 28-0 up.
Been 100 years
so I
old.
sort of said,
Yeah.
chill out.
Even at some
boy,
point,
yeah.
like,
Benji's Marshall's like, check out my stem cells I got in Mexico because I'm getting better with age. You know, like fucking.
Have you
hell.
thought of visiting a cantina in Mexico for some stem cells, Christian?
It's so expensive, man.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I remember in that movie, The Dallas Buyers Club, about when peptides first came
Yeah.
and they were combating HIV and that.
Go, Tommy. Oh.
Has he grabbed hold? Oh. No, he's real shepherd
Forward-
anyway.
forward
No wonder it was
five,
half out. Yeah, half-ass. That was a let-off.
So yeah, what are we at? 28-0 with 14 to go. We hit with another question because we got a few still.
Yeah, hit us with a big guy.
There's a couple on the Facebook too.
Yeah. So
That
what
was
the
on-
mechanic said about the six
McKinney-
again rule. We've touched on that mechanic. Thanks for the question, though, brother. David Ellis says the mechanic Raiders and Knights. What I don't know what that means. And then David Ellis. Has anyone ever seen a professional game like Penrith Newcastle?
No, it was,
That was unbelievable.
and that to me, that was like, that's why I like draws. It should have been a draw after 80 minutes. Both sides, one side fought back, one side was the dominant side in the first half, the other was the dominant in the second. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with a draw, and I'm sure Adam O'Brien, after losing Pearce and Connor Watson,
yeah.
would have been
Pearce
happy
early
with 1
too.
point. Because if 1 point scrapes you into the top 4 or the top 8 even,
yeah.
it was worth it.
So what
After-
happens with that? They get a point each?
Yeah,
or-
Yeah,
point
point
each.
each. Point
But
each.
you got to go to Golden Point to get it.
So after round, what is this round
Three.
4?
Three.
Round 3. I'm thinking I'm liking Para and I'm liking Canberra. Manly doesn't do anything for me because
Really?
they're
Yeah,
versing
right,
an,
yeah.
they're versing a fucking open 3
Oh,
side.
fuck it. Yeah.
Are you
Oh, so-
serious? You can't say anything. You can't take
Well, how
anything
can you like
from
Para?
this.
What were Brisbane the other night? Fuck me.
Brisbane,
dead.
Para were
Brisbane
pretty
are a
good.
top 5 side.
To be fair,
100%.
no, to be fair, I've got Manly going close to winning the comp.
No. They
So
win.
I know Roddy
Well,
loves that.
top
but-
5. We'll see how you go against the Roosters Thursday night, big guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying
Well,
Roosters are good too. No, but yeah, Manly's good.
It's hard
but
to-
I'm just
you
saying
do
it's
have to
hard
take-
against seeing
Yeah.
Yeah,
this.
it is
you know?
hard after watching
Yeah,
this
yeah.
game, but the
Yeah.
Raiders are standouts at the
And-
moment.
But
Yeah.
again, I'm bagging Bulldogs, but they're all very good rugby league players.
Well,
that
better than
are like,
highlight.
you know,
100%.
Well, they almost
Individually, they
They
all
lose
fit to
yeah.
another
they
good
lose to
team
Parramatta the
and
first
are
week
unreal.
8-2. Like, and had shit house attack, but they were very gritty defensively.
Yeah.
And then with Tolman coming
Sorry,
back,
boys.
I thought this would be tighter than I
I
thought.
wonder how much you get to any given Monday on the front of their jersey.
Oh,
I think
probably
we,
$40 at the moment because they don't
Get
have
it.
fuck all else, you know.
well, if they keep not scoring points in games, we'll get it nice and cheap. Christian.
Oliver from Rugby League, in my opinion, says, he goes, cheers for the kind words, fellas. Keen to get to Brizzy soon. We'll get him on the show.
Nice.
We get a yarn from him. He goes, Rugby League, in my opinion, is his own personal page, and he writes for everything Rugby League as a writer.
He's a
So
good man.
just to clear that up for the viewers. Also,
Oh, the game's paused.
the man himself, Craig Ingebrigtsen,
Oh,
who is
big Triggs.
Oh, here he is.
he's also come in and just said, with a question mark on the end, sore back Christian carrying these blokes.
100%, brother.
Oh, Triggs is short a hooker. He's short a hooker.
Oh,
We've lost another hooker.
That's why he's always been my favourite coach, mate.
And
No.
Ollie's come back in and said, which currently undefeated side is most likely to miss the 8?
Oh,
Which
hard to
winless
say.
side
Is
is
Manly
most likely?
undefeated?
no.
He goes,
Them.
which winless side is most likely to win the 8?
I can't wait till Thursday night when you big tough guys play.
Can you ask Triggs if he's seen Roddy and Vinny's lately or buying apparel?
Mate,
Freddie
you don't
wants
need
to
to go
know.
to Vinny's.
Freddie wants to know: is there any drug testing if he goes up to West Brisbane Panthers?
Because if there is, he's out.
Yeah,
He's
he
out.
may need someone else to take the piss test for him. TV's frozen, man. Can you fix this for us, bro?
Jesus.
We'll get our tech guy onto it.
Yeah.
We'll get our tech guy onto it.
So, favorite teammate of all time, just for any reason, just like you enjoyed playing with, because he's a great player, or you got on great. Who was your favorite? Spearsy?
Oh, he's up there. I've got too many. I actually can't isolate one bloke. There's a bunch of good blokes.
Least favorite teammate? Too many to name, mate.
It's way too many. Nah, there's just way too many good blokes. I just love footy
nice.
with
Yeah.
the boys.
boys,
Like
yeah.
seriously.
How about with the question we ask most of our guests is best and worst coach, which really separates the boys from the men.
Yeah,
Really,
Freddie
really
won't
does.
answer
We've
it
had
ever.
we've had a lot of blokes tell us their best coach, but we haven't had many say their worst. So
I'll tell you, I'll be straight up with that.
yeah,
I know exactly.
yeah, but we don't care about your opinion. Reece is who we care about.
Yeah, I know, but Roddy just mentioned my name.
I just sort of brought you into it to help. Oh, righto, Tontine.
Can you reach up this high, little fella?
Oh, dude. What? You've been going to the Blink 182 defence course or something lately, Blake. Learn a few moves. Yeah. It should be sweet when you kick it back on there, mate. Yeah. Who is... Might not be your best coach, but your favourite coach. Like you got on probably the best with. You felt you made a good impact on your game. Taught you a lot.
Oh, it's hard. It's a bit of a cop out, but like I love learning from different coaches. Like
Yeah.
I haven't had a bad one, honestly. Haven't
Yeah.
had one that I haven't gone, oh fuck, that's exactly how I play. Like Higgs,
Yeah.
when he goes, no, this is what you do at 5'8", this is how you run. I was like, righto.
So that was your primary position the years you played there? Was
yeah,
it?
100%.
He just said, don't play me there, and he saw
Nah.
things in you, and
was
you sort of fitted how he wanted to play the
Yeah,
game, how he
100%.
wanted you to play.
He put me there.
Who was the half with you? Did your brother play out there with
Flinny.
you? Oh, Flinny, yeah.
Yeah,
you said
Flinny.
that.
No, my cousin came
Yep,
a
your
year
cousin.
later.
Yep.
So I took him back from Union as well, and then
Yeah, nice.
to come over and
And he's
play.
still there?
Yeah, he's still killing
Yeah.
it. He's carving up.
Didn't he make, 19's Brisbane team or something, 20's Brisbane team?
Oh, he was like Union. Played Queensland like in some squads, and
Yeah, nice.
was over in New Zealand playing up there, playing some good footy. But
Oh, good stuff, mate.
yeah, no, he's still killing it. Lives around the corner actually. Like, next
Oh, does he?
door over. But then, yeah, and good coaches like even Triggs and Zach, like the stuff, the technical stuff that they could teach us, second to none. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
nice.
it's like a Queensland Cup system. Just learn from them blokes. Higgs was really good because he just wanted